Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in positive territory this morning, coming off that blowout jobs number back on Friday. While everyone was enjoying the long Easter weekend, the Labor Department reported payrolls increasing by 916,000 in March, the biggest monthly jump since back in August of 2020. The unemployment rate, meanwhile, falling to 6%, down for the third straight months. U.S. markets, like that this morning. Big time move for futures back into positive territory, as we mentioned, coming off a solid performance way back on Thursday. Remember, we had the S&P closing above the 4,000 level for the first time ever, bringing total 2021 gains to 7% for the S&P. Focus remains on stimulus coming from the Biden administration. We learned of the $2 trillion stimulus plan coming, or planned to come, for infrastructure spending from the Biden administration last week. We'll talk about that a little bit coming up here. Individually, meanwhile, Tesla shares, big move here in the pre-market to the upside after a blowout quarterly delivery number from Tesla. And GameStop, big move but downside this morning. Yeah, they finally announced that share offering that everyone was expecting. It's Monday, April 5th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Yeah, nice look at North American markets here to get things started for a new week. You can see about 0.5% for the Dow and S&P at this point to the upside. NASDAQ lagging ever so slightly, but in positive territory. TSX futures here in Toronto basically flat. Brazil's open, trading lower this morning. We have Bitcoin with a nice move back higher after a bit of a sell-off, 1%. 3.5% move, meanwhile, for crude oil, and gold back in positive territory as well. Good morning, guys. It is Monday, brand new week. We had Bitcoin topping 60,000 back on Friday while everyone was off, but came off a little bit over the weekend. Lots to discuss, obviously, heading into brand new trading week here. Can't get away from that Tesla number, though. Big beat for Tesla.
Yes, sir. It was a good Friday for Tesla, to be certain. It was a blowout number. It was like 2% quarter over quarter with that delivery number, but it really was the analysts that weren't expecting quite as much with the chip shortage and all that. So we're definitely going to get into that, putting a positive wind into the market, but some of the recovery as well is going to be a positive play here. I mean, I have to admit, I didn't even know about this Godzilla versus Kong film, to be honest with you guys, but a big time blowout for blow for that. Despite the fact that, you know, if you had HBO Max, it was available to you for streaming. So the numbers fantastic for that little box office there, and you're seeing AMC trade to the upside. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good week. Ms. V doesn't have to be in the green today. We're up 0.5% anyways, but I think it's going to be a fantastic week. Not a lot in the way of earnings, but you get the catalysts in here with some of the stocks that we like on the move here, Sean.
Yeah, I'll get, good morning, guys. I'll get Miss V to wear green when I have my spidey senses here that we're going to have some red days. You can stay like that for a while. I think there's going to be some good little days coming forth. But yeah, welcome, guys. I want to give a big shout out to my new friends. What's up to Paul, the Chef Paul at Cactus Club? Had a fantastic night there on Friday. What's up to my wife? It was absolutely fantastic. Thank you to everybody who saw me on social media and whatnot, and that was fantastic. Big shout out to Cactus Club here in Toronto. It was fantastic. Okay, Tesla, yeah, mover today, big mover. Palantir, guys, we talk about that over and over again. Palantir up another 3.5% today. Finally, looks like they'll be getting going. And yeah, look, super excited. New quarter, although I guess started on Thursday, but we're going to start it off right here again with the NASDAQ bump to 0.5%. As well as the S&P, so things moving in the right direction today. We're excited. Hey, it's Q&A day as well. If you remember, join us right after the show for our Q&A. It should be a good one.
Yeah, a little bit more of a positive feel heading into brand new trading week, which is good to see. Futures pointing to the upside, as we mentioned at this point. Let's get over to the desk and kick things off by saying good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, Brendan, and hey guys, I hope you had a great long weekend and ready for a productive week. But first thing first, and please make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Let's get it started, Brendan.
All right, yeah, let's get it started, guys. Let's have a look at the overall market to kick things off here this morning. We touched on it briefly there, but yeah, an absolute blowout number back on Friday as far as the jobs report is concerned. The biggest monthly increase in payrolls since August of 2020. So finally seeing things moving in the right direction. Unemployment rates back to 6%. So finally we're seeing things a little bit more positive here to kick things off this week.
Absolutely. I mean, that number, that 4,000 record close, we're pushing higher than that. It is only 0.5%, but it's sort of worth noting where we came from last week. It was such a strong end to the week that you don't need to have a blowout number here today. We're just looking to see some continuation. If there's anything that might slow the roll a little bit, I think there's of course been some discussion with the paring down of that stimulus bill, but we'll see how that one plays out, whether or not it gets pushed through with that $2 trillion or that pared down like $600 million, which is being thrown out around there. That'll all get hashed out at some point, but you're getting lots of positive chatter, certainly from other sectors of the market. It's about that reopen trade. 3 million vaccinations yesterday alone, and then but the potential to have Fauci come out and say that you might not transmit if you've gotten the vaccination, and that data could be coming soon. I mean, that's just going to be another positive win for some of the recovery names. I said there was light on earnings, but one of those names, Carnival Cruise Lines, is going to come through on Wednesday, so that'll be pretty big. But it does feel like we're going to have a pretty solid week here today. There are a couple of stocks that look like they might be having a shot to roll over, but that's more a factor of the gains that they've had in the last few sessions, in my opinion.
Look, let's have some fun here, guys. I just put up a poll here, and so far, let's see how many votes we have here. It's just been up for three minutes, 92 votes right now. Does Tesla hit $1,000 a share here in 2021? I'll put the link in the chat. Let us know. It's so funny because it's unbelievable the expectations that we have on some of these names. Like Tesla's $700 right now, right? So we have 85% of the votes right now say yes. So that means that you think Tesla's going at least another 45% this year. Like typically, if you get, people put their money in GICs, keep their money in the bank, put their money in gold, this and that. If we are really, really this positive on Tesla right here, I mean, then we got to pile in right now because $1,000 a share from 700 seems to be pretty good to me. But anyways, that's Tesla. I'm excited for Tesla. Look at the daily chart here. We look like we may be. We got to get going a little bit, but this is the breakout spot right here on the daily chart. Like we're right at, and we're going to get to this stock as we go, but we're right here at 700. If we can get above the 720 and take care of this glut of inventory on the share side right here, then I think we can get upside, man. And then the next stop, yes, is that 800 or 900. The reason why I didn't use 900 is we've already been there. So can we touch that 1,000? Yes, we can, according to Trader TV Mafia, which right now is. Come on, daily chart. Move out of the way. I can't move the daily chart. We'll figure that out. But right now, that's Palantir. 85%, Brendan, that Tesla has another 45% in it this year.
Yeah, the entire group catching a bid in a big way on that deliveries number from Tesla, obviously the biggest one. So you can have a look at any of the Chinese names also in positive territory. We'll talk about that coming up a little bit. But first, without further ado, let's bring in Mark Roberts, president of Sun Lake Strategies. It is Monday, a brand new week, a brand new quarter week, kind of. We started it last Thursday, but we're back. Mark, I hope you enjoyed your long weekend. I mean, there's a little bit more of a positive feeling, I think, coming in this morning. Futures getting a nice bounce after that employment number back on Friday. Big beat to the upside, as we said. Where do you want to go here? I mean, there's lots to talk about. What are you thinking to start things off this week?
As the vaccines roll out, we're 32% vaccinated in the U.S., give or take. The earnings should have some headwinds. You've got bank stocks coming up in the next few weeks. They will be a major point of reference. I'm still extremely bullish. I think we can go a lot higher, but we're going to hit some sort of a speed bump come late April into mid-May, and that's the dip I'm looking for to put another 25% of my money into the market.
So you're thinking coming, middle of earnings season, we might get a little bit of a
Correct.
slowdown. As far as earnings are concerned, we kind of look forward to having that catalyst in the market once again when it comes to news-driven events. You don't get much bigger than earnings. We're going to get into it, as you mentioned, over the next week or two. Is there one or two that are standing out that you're really looking forward to?
Well, again, as the traders were talking about this morning, this is an exhaustive situation. Good news may be good news for a particular company, but because it's already run 500%, you're just not going to see that move from 150 to 320 on the stock price. So this is where you're your research, your technical analysis is going to be key. Financials are my point of reference for sure.
So we'll watch the banks. Let's talk about some of these EV makers. I mean, what do we think here? Tesla, blowing everything out of the water as far as quarterly numbers. Sean asked the question on Twitter this morning, does it get to 1,000 this year, Mark?
I think there's a 60-40 chance it does, but it's going to have a lot of work to do in that 745, 850 area before. If it can blow through there with good volume, the answer is yes, much faster than I would have thought.
The entire group now getting a bit of a bump on that number this morning as well, kind of dragging along with them. Is there one or two maybe of the smaller ones that we might not necessarily be looking at yet that you kind of have your eye on?
Well, the problem is the rest of the Japanese and U.S. car makers, whether that's GM, Toyota, Nissan, Ford, they just haven't turned the corner enough yet where the conversation is all about EV. We're still 2030, 2035 before this becomes more of a reality. With gasoline somewhere around $2.75 a gallon, unless they're going to put a huge gas tax on things that force people to buy EVs, it's a slow process.
All right, I want to get your opinion, Mark, on little Chinese company, NanoX Imaging. This was, if you remember back to, I think it was about summertime last year, involved in a massive short squeeze that more than tripled in a couple of trading sessions. They come out this morning saying, I mean, this is a company that makes X-ray technology and digital imaging technology. They come out this morning saying that the FDA has now approved the use of this technology after 12 months ago or into the summer of last year, everyone thought it didn't even exist. What do you think of this?
I think you're going to see a lot of these type of companies coming out with a one brand, one technology type of thing. Fuzi was one that moved from $4 to $24. The answer is yes. I'm a believer in all this disruptive technology. But then the question's going to be, are the GEs and the Philips PHG going to sit around as these companies come out and make their move? I think you're going to see a lot of M&A activity.
Well, that's a very interesting to you say that, Mark. And of course, welcome. Happy Easter, of course. Hope you enjoyed. We had fantastic weather here. I mean, I don't know what it was like for you, but we're outdoors, outdoor egg hunt. So beautiful. So as I hear you say, NanoX for real, right? Because we talked about this the last time it came around, and it was a pure squeeze play. I mean, I'm in a bit of a rollover short, and look, it's up 63%, guys. So I mean, I like this rollover short through that 68.50 area here. When you talk about these disruptive names and sort of potential M&A, it's already been a pretty big year for M&A in the markets at these highs. So do you actually think we're going to see more deal chatter in the second quarter than even what we got in the first?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You've got tax bases that are going to change. You have new administrations in this country and other countries. These companies have to get themselves very well situated post-COVID. That's also going to be the other side of the earnings, as we started to talk about. If you're a company that's going to be reporting, and I'm not talking about financials, but let's say industrials or consumer staples, you better have your IR and the rest of your group on board talking about guidance going forward, because if they don't have vision post-COVID, these stocks are going to get destroyed on the downside. People want guidance at this point. What does the world look like as everybody gets vaccinated?
Right. I mean, that's the one thing that we've been sort of has been lacking. I mean, we haven't seen as much guidance throughout the spectrum there. You said a little something, and I know you probably you threw out that number saying, when talking about Tesla for the rest of the year, and these companies are at 150, and how do they get to 300? And I don't know, I'm sure you weren't talking about AMAT, but it happens to be Applied Materials happens to be getting close to that 150 mark. And there was a nice little breakout last week that we talked about. It was a good little trade there. Certainly there's an aspect of this, the chip shortage and reinvestment into that space has given them a little bit of a bump. But so are you throwing a little bit of caution at something like an AMAT, or where you may be talking about some different types of names here? Because I sort of feel like there's a lot of people that would have missed this particular boat and are looking to be involved in Applied Materials, or maybe in any of the names in the space. I mean, there's a couple that are probably a little bit lagging in the last couple of weeks, but sometimes you do have to look at these names as they're making fresh highs. And AMAT was a great run last week, and if you missed out on that 10-15%, what's the strategy for some people here?
I think an AMAT has been it's one of the best names in the tech space. LRCX, ADI, you go down the list of my favorites. AMAT also moves well into that renewable area. On any dip in here, AMAT is a screaming buy.
Excellent. I certainly love to hear that. I want to get your thoughts, just because I'm sure you're like me and you know nothing about this movie that came out over the weekend, the Godzilla versus Kong, but there were massive numbers, and as I was saying at the beginning of the show, I mean, despite the fact that you could get it free on HBO Max to stream, it still had fantastic numbers. It kind of puts that point that people are eager to get out, and the recovery play is still going to be full force. Are we underestimating sort of how big that recovery might be? I mean, I forget who it was, and apologies there, but someone with a 14 target on AMC in particular. Are we understating some of this recovery into the summer here?
I think you're going to have to go down the spectrum. The baby boomers down to the Generation X, into the millennials, and really see what their habits are post-COVID. 30-year-old men and women that I talk to, my son's age, et cetera, they're all starting to go out. They're still very nervous. My age group, the 60s and above, they're cautious, but they're going out. Are they going to want to go into crowded spaces? It's going to depend on A, being vaccinated, B, how are the theaters set up, and C, has your habit changed where you're so much willing to take a chance and go into a crowded movie theater or on a cruise line? I think it's going to take some time. I don't think it's going to be a quick turnaround. There'll be snapbacks, like for the TSA to have 1.3 million or 1.5 million coming through gates this past weekend, where it was 200,000 a year ago. Yes, there's going to be huge spikes and a change of venue, if you will, but it's going to take longer than expected to get people back into a normal entertainment mindset.
Okay, and off to what seems like a pretty good start here. As always, Mark, thank you so much. Before we get you out of here, just one last thing. Usually we try to get a one name out of you that we haven't talked about here. It might not be on our watch list. What's on your radar this Monday morning?
Oh boy, I've got everything from Nike and Lulu to HBI, all the way down to adding to Microsoft on any weakness. My list is about 20 different names, and I'm just getting ready to see what comes first.
Yeah, I mean, as you say that, I mean, we just spiked higher. We're 0.5%. Now we're 0.8% on the NASDAQ, and I was looking, Microsoft is flat. So there's going to be some value to be had here. Thank you as always, Mark. Best of luck today, and we can't wait to talk to you on Wednesday.
Great. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, guys, let's have a look at upgrades and downgrades for today. A couple of significant ones to mention. Spotify back on the upgrade side, not doing a heck of a lot of volume, but Nice 2% number there. MGM is on here, but some of the other hotels I noted a little bit better in the pre-market, but catching an upgrade here from Morgan Stanley for MGM. This Fly Leasing we mentioned a couple times last week. There was a couple of downgrades on that one, back to the downside today. Only slightly. Everything else a bit of a non-event on the downgrade side today, guys.
Let's check out this MGM here quickly here. Okay, so this is why, like, it's $41 right now. I think MGM has this potential here to break out, because if you get through this 42, that's been the high. So, I mean, we like casino names. We've talked about that. You just heard Mark Roberts talk about the great reopen. And it's happening, at least, and we can say whatever, but at least in Canada, at least in the Toronto area, it's starting to happen. 50 years older now can get it. So that should be pretty exciting. $42 here on MGM. You know, I like that break. If I was going to play a casino, though, I mean, Wynn, I think you got to go with the best of the best here. You have Wynn and you have LVS. So they're both way up as well. I think I'm excited. I can't wait to go back to Vegas and party it up there as well. So, I mean, I think a lot of these plays are here. They're right at the 50-period moving average. That's Wynn. And then the last one is LVS over here on the NYSE. And we'll check out what that's doing, $63. I mean, once these charts load, you'll see that we're all near recent highs, I mean, on a lot of stocks. So right now, again, right near VWAP. So if you're going to get one that's breaking away, I would prefer sort of MGM based on the way that chart looked. But again, if you're going to pick best of the best here, I would stick with LVS or Wynn as opposed to MGM. But hey, my number one pick in this space, and you guys have known this for a while, it's a double since we've been talking about it, and so are a lot of these stocks actually, is DraftKings. So DraftKings today also on our watch list. So some exciting stuff happening. And look, here's the NASDAQ. I mean, we're taking off right now. So we're going to the upside. There's lots to do. Microsoft, one of the babies that we love as well. Don't throw that out with the bathwater. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic run here for the NASDAQ. And I'm pretty well invested at this point. So let's see what happens.
Right, sticking with that same theme, just saw this little headline popping up here, guys. The CDC out with updated guidance for the cruise ship industry when it comes to reopening. Yeah, we'll stick to that theme here. A nice little bump on that news. NCLH just noticed 4% almost. Huge volume came in when that came out. So the entire cruise group, CCL, RCL, NCLH, back in positive territory, guys.
Absolutely. I mean, it feels like these kind of stories will be a little more important than the earnings that come through for CCL on Wednesday. But I'm actually looking, I mean, most of these charts are going to look pretty much the same. But as you get this nice little bounce, I think this little like 27 area, specifically talking about Norwegian here, will turn into some recent support. And then I just sort of go back to two prices. You go to this previous high, the December high at like 29 and change, and then we had some support to start out the month on the pullback after that big massive look. Remember what happened on the 5th, that big massive down day, and then you had the support the day after at 28.20. I think that's the near-term support level I'm looking at on today's action. So for specifically NCLH, and it would be the same thing in CCL if we just happen to be talking about Norwegian here. You're looking for that dip, and it's a pre-market high. It also goes to that, second day after a monster flush. When the buying comes in at prices like that, it's some people stepping in and seeing the value. Maybe not not on the way down, but finding that support. Sort of post, not crisis, but post harsh pullback. So I like those price areas to be able to defend Norwegian. It happens to be that 28.20, and we'll certainly look for that on any kind of a pullback today. And then sort of went back and showed you guys we're just the pre-market high, just below that 29 and change that was a previous top that had some resistance getting through. That's why I would probably prefer the dip buy in front of 28 as opposed to that breakout trade. I think you might have a little tiny bit of resistance here on NCLH in general.
By mid-July, okay, I'm just looking here at, so right now the vote, 335 votes right now for this. Does Tesla hit, and I just put it in the chat again, guys, so does Tesla hit $1,000 a share in 2021? We still have 80% yes. Neil, give us your pick here. We could select it here. What would you say, yes or no on this one?
End of the year. I'm very much like Mark. I have to say yes because I think it's over 50%, right? But it's like it's not like 80 or 90. It's not along those lines. I mean, I just recently bought over 600 and wasn't thinking 1,000 this year, personally. But at the same time, the way this market is sort of geared up, I think there's at least a non-impossible chance. So let's give it like 53% or something along those lines, like myself from the field in high school.
Okay, 53%. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with Tesla here breaking that 1,000 mark. We'll see. I think that would be an absolutely incredible run. And I'm still putting some money in cash just in case. Not yet. I mean, I'm almost fully invested now. But I do think after this week, in the next couple of weeks, we may get. I did like what Mark was saying there about some of that. Some coming off during earnings season, and we'll wait to see if that happens. And Tesla could hit that on earnings. So. We'll see. I mean, it could take a month.
Hold on a second. It's hit, not close a year above, right?
Will Tesla hit $1,000 a share in 2021? Yeah. I mean, I'm not about to. I mean, if it hits it, I mean, does it come back down? If it crashes, I guess so. CCL here, $28. That's the name that I like here today. We've talked about that a little bit. Neil went over Norwegian. I like CCL. I don't see any reason why that can't rip today. I think there's a lot of positivity now with the vaccine. I mean. First of all, I think like a lot of you guys, we hate the media because they are really, and I know me and Brendan talk about this all the time, like all I see is those 30 blood clots, right? But what about the denominator, right? Like it's 18.1 million people in Britain got the AstraZeneca vaccine, and 30 of them, and they're not even identifying gender, race, age, health condition of those 30 people. So, for me, I think that's an amazing number, 30 out of 18.1 million. And there's a lot of fear mongering with the vaccine. And I just think that today, I think we're looking for a brighter day. Whether or not you believe or want to take the vaccine, that's completely up to you. I'm just talking about from a scientific, factual matter there, that the media seems to be blowing this out. And I think the stock market is definitely understanding that as we continue to rip up not only in the NASDAQ, but in the ES. And then so I think that leaves... no pun intended, I guess, with CCL. Smooth sailing, I think, as soon as they can get some of those lifts coming through. I actually saw the CDC, I think it was, Thursday or Friday, Brendan? The CDC said that as long as you're vaccinated, travel within your own country for all that are vaccinated is a go. They do approve that. Not that the CDC's been right this whole way, but that's something that now they've stamped approval. So I just think it's a matter of time before they stamp a CCL and stamp some of these cruise lines to go nuts again. So we'll see here. I like CCL. Daryl, if you're watching, let us know what you think. I know you trade CCL a lot as well. And then, guys, please vote for that. We're going to keep that Tesla thing open for one day. We'll see if we get to 1,000 votes.
Yeah, it was air travel in the U.S. that we're talking on Friday. As long as you're vaccinated, no quarantining, no proof of vaccination. It's just back to normal, which is great to see. And I mean, I think it's worth mentioning, guys. I read 3 million people, Neil mentioned it at the beginning of the show, but 3 million people vaccinated in the U.S. yesterday alone, which is enormous. So great job from everyone to our south as far as neighbors go. Doing a great job as far as vaccinations are concerned. I want to talk about this little eBang International, EBON, little Chinese stock up huge this morning, almost 10%. It was way more than that. We got up to $8, which is basically where it was back on Friday. This is crypto related. We learned a couple weeks ago, I think it was back in this range, when they announced that they were going to or planning on launching a digital assets exchange. They came out this morning and said it is ready and it is online. So eBang International launching this morning their digital asset exchange.
Yeah, and look, we get a Coinbase on the 14th as well. So look, I mean, look, the headlines are going to keep coming through in the crypto space in general, but with regards to eBang, we did have these rumors before, and it did, sort of already give you a bit of a double spike into this 13-14 range. We're essentially very muted here. Now, it was up a little bit more than this, up around that $8 range. So you look at this consolidation on the daily chart here, and it did test some of this 8 to 850 area, or at least 8 breakout anyways, this pre-market. It couldn't push through. So I mean, I don't know how much juice this is actually going to have. It's looking, for the time being, this is looking relatively weak. I look at the 755, and if that can't hold up, obviously it could be a bit of a short through there. But if we hold this level, of course, as I say it, we're going to be testing that 755. If that were to hold, I would sort of expect that you're going to have one of those little tests to the upside around 830, or at least sort of 930, at least close to that little open. And at that point, it's going to be all about that 8. Showing you the daily chart, even when it breaks through in the last couple of weeks, it has had a ton of trouble getting anywhere near some of those previous levels. So I don't know how much of a move this is going to be on EBON, and if it breaks that 750, you could essentially go all the way back to the bottom, well, at least where it closed on Thursday.
I remember taking this long in the pre-market a couple of weeks ago. I think on that one when the first story broke, maybe it was even last week or however long it was ago. I heard Brendan mention it there, but you know what? I think this is an easy fade here through 750. So if you like this play, I think it's going to be coming, and it's right here, 750. Neil just broke it down for you, so there's no point in really going over too many charts here, but. Again, I don't know enough about EBON or EHang International to know that if this is a needle mover or not. But on the daily chart, I mean, it's been pretty consistent regardless of this news or not. Like whether or not, it's just been up, down, back, around, and now and why I say consistent is the 7, has held the whole way pretty much all the way back to November. So regardless of what we know about the stock, it seems like it wants to hold 7, and then worst case scenario is this 650 level. So let's see. You would think that them launching it is decent news, but if it can't get above this 850, then forget about it. And again, a lot of it, you buy the rumor, sell the news. So today is news day, so it looks like they're selling EBON. Even though you're still up at 7%, people took money off here at 8, that's for sure. So now let's wait to see what happens through 750. It seems like a no-brainer.
All right, let's bring in Arun here. We'll have a look at the overall market, check out what levels we need to be aware of today. We are in, uncharted territory here, Arun. What do we do with the overall market?
Yeah, it's it's uncharted. We're above 4,000. Remember, we're looking for this last time we were open on Thursday. If we can get to 4,000, then we can make some moves. But we've gotten past it. The close on Thursday was fairly strong, and then something happened on Friday, which I found really unusual, which was the jobs number was released when the markets were closed. Which to me, that's a big, I don't want to say concern, but it's unusual because that is one of the most important numbers that is released in the month. And that was done when the markets were closed. So futures markets have moved, but the stock market has yet to catch up, or the individual stocks they've got to make some moves at the open. So what I'm going to do is be patient. I want to see what this open looks like, because I imagine there's going to be a lot of catching up and back and forth between the many stocks that do have to make some sort of adjustment based on what the projections could be from the jobs numbers. So I'm going to sit back. I'm going to wait. The only level I've got, and it's not even really that strong of a level, is that 40-10 level down 35 points below us now. So I'll keep an eye on that number. It's not really a level I really want a good setup. If I'm going to take that number or that level, I'm going to want a really good setup to actually step in front of it. But at the same time, if this market goes past that 40-40, I think you just got to let the market go into discovery mode and just let it trade and let it establish some new highs, new points of sell interest, find some bid areas, let the market trade. Sometimes that's what you have to do because there's nothing that you can really work with. So you just got to sit back, be patient. I'm going to wait until after the open to make some moves if I can find some level. Even if I find a level, let's say if there's something that develops between now and 9:30, I'm still going to wait to see the open, because I'm really, really curious as to how this market is going to adjust to the jobs number coming out on Friday when the stocks were all closed. Yeah, futures market was open, but I mean, that runs on Globex hours for a short time period. But I'm really curious to see the open today.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Actually, Arun's going to join us, guys, at the Q&A coming up after the show. So if you are planning to, make sure you stop by. We have our 4 members Q&A coming up right after the show this morning. Don't forget that. Tesla, let's jump into the watch list. We send it out every single morning, guys, before we come on at 8:30. If you haven't done so already, ask Valeria in the chat. She will get you the link. Ask her nicely, though. Let's talk about Tesla. Shares higher this morning after a blowout quarterly deliveries number. 184,800 versus 177,000 and change expected. So big beat for Tesla, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, it was a good Friday for them, and a lot of the reason why you weren't, expecting like that 185 or even better than that was, of course, going to be the chip shortage. They had to close the plant as well, so there was a lot of negativity certainly around the potential for that deliveries number. And look, we got that retest of 600, and we bounced off that. We're talking about Tesla and had a couple of nice long positions, a couple of days in a row, looking to the upside, and we're getting right back in. And I hate to say this, I said there was a few stocks that were going to get into some resistance levels, or at least looking like they had such good gains, are going to get into obvious resistance on the chart. Tesla is really not that different. I look at this, 713.50 right here. Current pre-market top 714. You go back, this was like that 713 area. We did have a potential break, or at least tried to, back over there on the 10th. So it's been a fantastic run from the bottom here. If you got it from 600, congratulations, 20%. I picked it up a little bit later on. You saw a nice little 10% move on the week. There's a really good chance we could get some chop zone area into this top. I mean, 715 is going to stand out for the break when it can hold above. Remember, the 20s tend to be numbers on Tesla. I don't make it up. It just sort of is what it is around here. And if we do get any kind of a dip, I have to like the 680 area. So to sort of look back, you go to the beginning of last week with that 23rd here, when you made these highs and we're starting to roll over, and then we had that massive afternoon sort of flush, not massive, but it was like a $20 move to the downside, and then you held support at 680, and then that ended up being basically the high into what would have been the last session. And then we tried to hold 680 and broke down. And now we're gapping above. This is the bigger move on the actual number. I got to believe the 680, if tested again, is going to be the hold. So any kind of a dip through 700, 680 is where I'm a buyer today on Tesla in particular. I don't love the long. I don't love the long. If I'm taking maybe 700 on some strength, that would make a little bit of sense. But I don't love the breakout long at 715. I think the 720 is going to be the problem there for me. So no breakout longs today. I will be looking to buy some dips on Tesla, and I haven't ruled out. Like if we break 715 and can't get through that 20, it's not horrible. At least try a little bit of a short opportunity there. Give yourself like $4 or $5. See if it can't get to 700. So I'm very open-minded about Tesla coming to the downside. But if it goes too far, no question, I want to defend 680.
Everyone's asking for the sticky notes, so I'm working on it right now. As you guys can see, I'll put it up right now. Look, I just wrote down those same levels there. 715, we will play the break, and then 680, we'll see if we can average into that. But right now we are into E-bond, so we did take this short here through 51. Good enough for me. We'll see. Can it hold this 780 area? That's the area that I'm going to be looking at here for a possible hold on E-hang, otherwise known as E-bond here. Not Eric Ebron, E-bond. We'll see. What is the 770, 780? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. The amount of shares we have here, we could take this 30-cent hit if it does happen. So 780, we're not going to hold this thing forever. Give me a couple seconds, guys. I'm coming with the sticky note.
All right, let's go to GameStop here. The next one on the list. What a move off the lows already. We've gone from 156 up to 176 here in the pre-market for GameStop. Now just 8.5% to the downside. They finally announced what everyone was expecting them to over the past month or so, a 3.5 million share offering at the market, guys, for GME. Yeah,
I mean, an opportunity at that 155, but I mean, even the 160 here. Early bird gets the worm. I guess those that were buying GameStop at 7:30 in the morning here and get that nice little 10-bagger. Everyone's been expecting, or at least not expecting, waiting around for this to actually happen and take it. GameStop take advantage of it in the transition. Look, it's still hard for me to sort of wrap my head around the valuation at these levels. I mean, okay, fine, like 175. I think back when it was 40, I think it's a little bit of hindsight, but even at that time, it was like, okay, it wasn't too crazy. You get that secondary push. I'm not convinced that there isn't going to be a little more selling into today, especially if they try to run this in. Like if this gets run back into like the 180 to 85 level, I'd probably be playing on the short side of GameStop. And I think we saw the buying come in at 155 this morning, and then 160 certainly held. And then I sort of go back to, okay, well, what were the recent lows here? And you did have this like 163, you had this like 155 area. Okay, so we're basically, the buying just came in at some sort of obvious pullback levels previously. So you sort of follow that pattern. If the bottom gets broken out, you have like 140 to 141, and then from there it gets a little bit uglier. So some obvious downside levels. I think that's what you look for in GameStop these days. I mean, the breakouts haven't been as good, so I want to look for some obvious points of resistance, simply fade in front of them. If it even sniffs that low of the day, I think it's worth to defend at 150. But look, if we get close to this 185, which actually looks like there's a shot that it could happen off the open, I really do think you could have a bit of a rollover over last week's bottoms, I suppose, at that price. I'm looking at a 185 short if it gets in there on GameStop. I don't like the breakout trades. I mean, I've done them and had some success, but the last 2 or 3 times, it's basically been, I went a little bit on the first half, and then second half I'm getting out flat or taking a hit, and it's working out to just distract me at 9:30 for GameStop. But if you like that, if you liked 175, it's a nice round number there for you. I'd much rather see if that punches through and then I can't short like a 185, where I think there might be a little bit more room to have a nice winner.
Okay, I just put the sticky note up. I'm going to put it in the comments. Well, actually, that's just the profile. You guys can see it there. Okay, so that's GameStop. Look, I mean, we are going to talk about AMC. We're going to talk about a bunch of different names. I did want to just give everyone's attention here. What we're doing right now is going through the watch list, right? And now it's completely free. It's always been completely free. tradertv.live, go there in the top right. You're going to see watch list. You can sign up with Google, Facebook, make an account any way you want to. And there it is, Tesla, GameStop. We're going to talk about Palantir soon, AMAT, Roblox. They're all absolutely on here. Invitae is on here. Everything, AMC, DraftKings, Donkey Kong, everything's on here. I don't know why this is still here, but Sammy the Legend, you want to hear about one of the better traders at Day Trade the World and how he trades, that's there as well. And then a bunch of different tweets, I guess, from our main account right now. So anyways, that's our members area. Make sure you sign up. I mean, get the watch list. It's right here. It's easy. Keep the tab open on your phone, refresh it, and Bob's your uncle there. But it looks like you're about getting ready, Brendan, is what I'm going to say. I'm just too excited to talk about Palantir.
Yeah, another day, another contract for Palantir. This one, what was it, 90 million? 5-year agreement with the National Nuclear Securities Administration. Not that it matters who it's with anymore, because it seems like they have one with pretty much everyone at this point. PLTR, guys, back to the upside.
All right, you guys want to see the imbalance locator? Let's do that as well. You want the sticky note? You got it. You want the imbalance locator? You got that as well. Look, these are all the names that we've talked about so far today, really. We didn't really, well, we will be talking about NEO, and we're talking about Palantir now. GE's on here as well, up to 1350. That's going to be a good one. I've loved GE and Boeing for a long time and told you guys where we're in on those ones, and so that's been good. But let's talk about Palantir here. Catching you once again, another bid. So Palantir coming up today, new contract, new bid, up that 3.5%. Look, we're super excited. It's been a really rough time, and you know what? I'm just happy that now we're going to get a couple days in a row, hopefully if it holds this, of green action. And I mean, that's the right move. All the rhetoric right now around Palantir is that this is going to be a longer term play. So that's why, I mean, I tweeted it out. We talked about it live on the show. I don't have any problem telling you guys, like I went long 21.87 on this red day down here, one of the last red days that we had. I thought that was a pretty decent pickup. We could have got a lot lower. I mean, forget about this 20. That was that flash crash day. You could have got 21 almost even not too long ago. I think as long as we hold above here on Palantir, we're fine. We still need to get above this 29. So once we get above 29, those of you that start playing options and things like that, then I think we could start putting a 35, 37 price target on that thing by the end of the year for sure. But we got to get through 29 first. If it can explode there, then I do think we retest highs. But on the minute chart, let's go back. Actually, hold on a second. Let's do a 20-minute chart here. I'll just call that up in a second. I just think it's a little bit more eventful for us here instead of a 1 minute. Lots of stuff's going to happen. This is that 24 level that you can see, so that's why we want to go back a couple days. This goes back to the 22nd, so on and so forth. $24. We topped out there in the pre-market before dropping on what's now Thursday, on Friday, Thursday, all the way down. We did touch the 200 period. We did break through the 50 period, but now we're well above that. So I'm looking at this 24 break, and I think that that's something that has to be taken. And then if we get caught in it, which we probably will, we'll go all the way back down here to 23. So my play early on is going to be get long in front of 23. In front of 2350. If 2350 holds, then doesn't hold. What am I saying? If 2350 holds, it will be huge. But if it doesn't hold, then we look back at this 23 level. So we'll average into 2350, dump it if it breaks, let it settle out down here, see if we can't catch a bigger long to the upside. But hey, look, Palantir, if the NASDAQ's going to be up, then I do like this stock. We've talked about it all the time. And a shout out to Miss Kathy Wood. Come on our show.
I just want to a quick look here because it's at 2403 is the high of the day. That was a bit of a dark pool print from what I could tell. I'm going to play a straight break here, and usually that doesn't always work out. But the adjustment that I've made to breakouts on this name and NEO and CCL as well, some of those names that do good volume on those big plays. I'm just going to have a tighter stop on the way back in. So if it breaks 24 and we can't hold this, it'll just sort of go back go back into Thursday's action, guys. You just can't hold this like 23.65. If we can't hold that, I would just get out. So sort of risk that like first like 35 to 40 pennies. You can always retest lower, and then I always try to treat that as a separate trade. I've been caught on the playing both the break and the dip buy in the same vein here, but I think I'm going to separate those two. So for me, I'm going to go along in that 24 level. I think if we do get a pullback, there's going to be a lot of names to look for dip buy. I'm already looking at that CCL and NCLH in that particular area, and I think there could be some juice into NEO as well. And oh wow, AMC we're going to talk about, but AMC back to 10. I really wanted to dip to like 9.55 was the price I really liked there. I guess we're not going to get that.
All right, let's go to Applied Materials, a name that Mark seems to like. Mark Roberts was on earlier talking about this one. We'll touch on the semiconductor group here a little bit, guys. Credit Suisse increasing their price target on AMAT today by $30, I should say, to 175. I mean, as far as impressive charts go, this one is definitely one. Going back to the middle of last month, 120 up to almost 150 here, another 3% for AMAT.
Yeah, look, I liked AMAT a few sessions ago when we talked about that last week, and it's hard to love the break here. I think you have to get a little bit more patient once you're making a move like this. Clearly you can see how strong the chart is, what it is, but every time it's had sort of significant moves to the upside, you have had at least consolidations, or you've had some little pullbacks and rollovers. So I'm kind of thinking the same thing at 150 on this particular move here. And again, these are fresh highs, so you don't have obvious levels to work off of. So $150 even is going to be what sticks out to me. In terms of what you like for any kind of a dip or a rollover, there's nothing very, very clean to this little downside. That's why I would prefer shorting in front of a big level on a push up, as opposed to trying to pick a break to the downside like we did over in NNOX, which was up like 60% on the session. A little bit easier with those. If we do dip to like a 140, I mean, that'd be something that would be worth at least a look for a defense. But now, as far as AMAT goes, I'm going to be looking to see if it hits that 850 mark for a quick little reversal play to the short side. And if we do see 140s, that'll be a different story, but it just doesn't have that same feel today. I think we're going to push into a short opportunity as opposed to sort of catching one on the downside right away at 9:30.
Yeah, I was still looking at Palantir and sending out some notes here and just commenting on some of you guys with chat AMAT. No, not AMAT there. What am I doing? AMAT, there it is. AMAT over here on the NASDAQ. Big chart, big miss. Should have been in this one for a hell of a long time ago. When you're not just a semiconductor, they help make these semiconductors. There's a lot here. There's a few other companies that are very, very similar to AMAT. I just wonder if it is overheated just because of all the talk. But hey, look, if they're going to throw more money at this situation, then AMAT's going to be the beneficiary of that. So 146.50 looks pretty solid to me, Brendo.
All right, let's go to Roblox, guys. Back to that 71 area. It's been the top end of the range on the daily chart, but it was Goldman, Bank of America, and Truist Securities initiating coverage with positive notes on Roblox today. So a nice bump here in the pre-market, up 4% so far.
Look, I remember when I first bought Beyond Meat, and it was really based on the first upgrade that I heard of any real significance, right? That was, I think it was $84, $85 or so, and I believe it was Morgan Stanley. So today we look at Roblox and we sort of get a beautiful bump up. I mean, is 4% enough? Probably not. Are they going to be the same kind of company as Beyond Meat? I don't think so. And I do think that Roblox is going to play the momentum game to the upside. You guys know, look, we've seen Fortnite lose, some steam. There's a lot of that happening with video games, right? Unless you're like a franchise where you can get Madden every year, or EA Sports has that with Sims and some of these other things as well. I wonder what the staying power for Roblox is. However, I was just talking with my kid on the weekend, and we bought one share up here at 74.75. We bought another share. I'm just building. He's 9 years old, so I'm building him into the investment world, which I started way earlier than 9. But Roblox was finally a stock that he's into, and then we did average in somewhere down here, 66, 67. So he'll be happy when I come home today and say we're probably back in the money or close enough to it. So let's wait to see. That's not a good investing strategy to follow your 9-year-old, but I do like the fact that you got to get your kids involved early. And honestly, this might sound silly, but until we see Roblox's first report, I really don't know where this thing's going to go, so let's just play momentum. That's why we wrote down on here, man, 71 1/4. If we take out the high, we posted up the our sticky note there. If you take out the high, I think momentum continues in this name. That's 71 and a quarter. I don't see any reason why Roblox can't continue to go. It's a pretty unique situation they have, and it seems to be getting popular. There it is. There it is from the 26th. There is the high, 71.25. So again, we're in this area right now. You can watch it trade back down to 69. That's probably the safer play, into 69 and then see what happens. I don't think 71 taking out the top this early today is going to be a great idea. With the NASDAQ bumping up, I think there's going to be a lot of money going into the Apples, the Microsofts, the AMDs, the big boys of Facebook of the world. So we can hopefully check back in on Roblox. And hopefully when we do, it's still around the same area. Then we'll check the momentum to see it breaking through 71 and a quarter. But hey, look, I like Roblox. Let's get them started young. And hopefully Roblox will come out with a decent report, whatever that is. I like the name, and I think it's a breakout candidate.
Yeah, I think we saw this with some of those IPOs from last year when they found a little bit of bottom. You got those initiations, just started breaking out those highs, and if you slept on those moves, whether it was your C3AIs or it doesn't really matter, pick any of them. You slept on those moves, you missed out. 71.25, as you mentioned, interesting for a break. I do like that level. I'm watching out for that 73 as well if it gets there. So even if we only go like a buck or two into that first level at 73, that's going to be a solid break if you get consolidation as well. So there's a couple of levels on watch today on Roblox. For it to get back up to that double top at 79, there should be a few breakouts on the way. 71.25, as Sean mentioned, and 73 after that. I'll like both of those if we can catch those after the open. Brendo?
All right, another interesting looking chart here in the pre-market, guys. Invitae, big bounce off of where we were back on Thursday. In the pre-market here, SoftBank, Japan's SoftBank saying possible $2 billion investment coming for this one. This is a mid-cap biotech that is in the genetic testing space. So interesting time to be in that space, first off. But 43 here kind of corresponds with top end of the range here on the daily chart for NVTA.
This is what I was sort of getting at, where all of the gappers, Brendan, on the watch list today, or what things that we're looking at, are right into like previous resistance. And look, it's hard to ignore this. I do have this, like these tops here are all wicks to 44 on the daily chart, but all the closes have been at that 43 mark. So I think it's obvious that you're going to have some resistance at this top here. You're essentially right in the middle. NVTA is going to stick out like a sore thumb for this 44. The only downside here, and this is why this is a no-fly. We have 8 minutes till the open, and this stock has done 150,000 shares. So when it comes to breakout trades, I look at a level like this. I would never take a breakout on a stock that's done so little volume, such an obvious top level. At some point, if it does make the breakout, today, tomorrow, or later in the session on better volume, that would be a much better play for me. I think it's a lot safer, usually, and safe with a grain of salt here, it's a lot safer to play fades off of levels like that. At least initially, you have it defined out, you know what your stop is, instead of getting in on low volume, paying up a big spread, and then where's your out? Is it all the way back into 42 and you're risking $2? Don't necessarily love that, but if you try the short for a rollover trade and it pushes into that, you could actually end up with like a 43.50 short, giving it to that 44. Next thing you know, you're risking 50 cents plus slippage. And then you have a chance, even if you just go back halfway to yesterday's close, right? At that point, you're looking at about like two and change in terms of the dollar. So that's about like 4 to 1 risk to reward ratio. And that's the reason why I would much prefer to be playing, the short in front of that 44, at least off of the open in NVTA. But you saw in that chart, at some point you get that breakout, it's going to look pretty darn good.
Yeah, let's skip Invitae, and if you want, Brendan, I think we should go right to AMC, and I'll talk about this level quickly.
Agreed. Let's talk about AMC. Yeah, we had that premiere over the weekend. What was that movie called again? It was that was it, Godzilla versus Kong, that no one apparently knew of, but a lot of people went to because 32.2 million over Easter weekend's not bad, considering no one is really going to movies at this point because of the pandemic. So yeah, we also had an upgrade on AMC here in the pre-market, guys.
You guys keep saying no one's heard of it.
You knew about it?
Yeah, I knew about it.
Oh, okay. I mean, I had no clue, man.
We're not going. Everything's still locked down. We actually just got locked down. Again, another shout out to Cactus Club. Thank you so much for taking that last minute reservation. We're not even able to anymore attend outdoor dining anymore. So let alone sitting in a movie theater. But it's at this $10 level, and I'm going to just continue to like it. We just went long right now through 10. And again, it's just a key level. Do I think that we could fade back in? Yes. I have lower bids as well, waiting for this stock to come back into the 990s, into the 980s. I think I'm going to be happy with this thing if it holds, somewhere around here, 960-ish. I don't know if I want to hold it all the way back to 950. I think if it tests this, it probably breaks lower, and that will force me to get out and then have, once again, a really shitty price. So we'll wait to see. But right now we're long at 10:02. I guess he wants to punch the high of the day. I just think it's a good one, man. I mean, here's a 20-minute again. I just keep on referring to the same kind of chart here when we're looking at bigger time levels. We were hovering around 10. So this is Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. So we're 10 here. We dipped down. There's that dip to 975. Happened pretty early in the first couple wicks here off the open, about 10 o'clock. And then we just continue to go higher, eventually getting to 1040. So the thing is, we can't trade this thing too much with rose-colored glasses. And what I mean by that is, I don't think that we're going to have these rips again, into the shortable shares. Like, we'll check it, Brendan. Maybe if you have a second, let's see what the shortable is on that. But like this 1040 area is where we stopped and had some issues with all last week. So sure, we broke above. We got to 1066. I think that'd be fantastic. But for me, I'm going to be taking this stock out like 1040, 1020, this kind of an area. If we can get it, we'll see if we can hold half through there. But right now it looks like a good little runner. We're long at 02. I'm not going to take any out until we get to at least this 1010 here, which was the high on Thursday, this 1010 before we started to make a move downside. So we'll wait to see if it can get up there. We'll take a small piece off on that. But right now it's a winner. So we're cooking up a little bit of profits here on AMC. Check back in on the imbalance locator. It's a buy. Obviously that's stirring a little bit of this action to the high side right now, but that's not really one of my concerns here on the imbalance locator. It's already done 4 million shares. So let's just see if it can hold high, and we'll see if it holds that 1060 or so area. Yeah, right here. Let's see if it holds this 1060. If it does, then we should be in this for a while today.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I like the dip into that 955, 960. I said 955 was what I really like. I actually have bids in front of it if it comes down. The 1010 is what I don't like. It's the second time it's making a run at 10 even in pre-market. As Sean mentioned, you had 1010 on the flush on Thursday. Session before that, that was that sort of low all day long, just basically holding a tight range and holding 10 to 1010 is that little bit of a bottom. So he's got to get through there. I think you can take at 9:30 might be interesting for a quick scalp 1010 break, but I want to buy this dip. I might even start in the 70s and not wait to that 965 price, which I currently am bidding. Check that. Yeah, 966 actually. That's splitting hairs. But AMC is one that you have to watch today. We're going to be all over that for sure. I know there's only 3 minutes to go here, so I do want to get to semi because I know some of you guys have been looking at CEMI at the bottom of the watch list, I do believe. Yeah, it's the very last name here, ChemBio. Look, they were the test that distinguishes between flu and COVID. I tried some shorts, muted success, and then got blown up on a short, then reversed into a long, right into this like 550 range. Now, it's right back to this 550 after pushing through to $6. And I like this previous level. Previous pre-market high here was at 5.25. That's where I reversed from short to long and then held that on a pullback. So for me, I'm not bearish until we see that 525 mark once again. And just to go to the daily chart, if it does extend through like 6 even, I think this is why it has some trouble when it got that little push. 588 is the high, but it tried to get to 6 certainly on the way back. Up after a huge fall from 850 on the daily chart here. So I expect some resistance at $6 as well on CEMI.
A couple minutes to go here, guys. I want to show you this real quick. If you missed it last week, make sure you write this down and get ready, because it's coming tomorrow, a brand new afternoon closing show. We're back every single day, 3:15 p.m., right through to the close. Lots of great stuff to show you, teach you, talk about. As far as the closing mechanisms are concerned, there's lots of trading opportunities in the last hour of the day that we haven't touched on. So make sure you mark that down and come and join us, please. Tomorrow, guys, it's kicking off for the afternoon show. I want to show you one more little one. By the way, Sean, 13% on AMC, I still see on the short side. NNOX, not really a little one. It's a mid cap. We touched on it briefly there. 68 to 70, watching that. For any kind of move up into that. Hopefully we get a hold lower and then a push back to the downside. But I still don't believe that they got FDA approval on some sort of X-ray equipment that they apparently have.
Yeah, I'm kind of wishing I'd held the 68.50 short, to be honest with you guys. But look, it was a tight range. I like this little chop zone where it had the breakout. Well, if you want to call it that, at 7 o'clock. I looked for that 7 o'clock volume. It pushed through right there through 66. So I short on the way back into that 66 level. If it comes back into 68.50, I want to short that price. Maybe even give it to that high of day. But also watch out for like a 61.50 breakdown, because that could come into play. So NNOX, I'm likely to be only on the short side today, even though I never say never, but I'm playing the shorts, at least until I'm proven otherwise.
Here we go, guys. A little out there as the Bulls keep kicking on AMC. Let's see if it can go higher. Another piece out at 10.14 right there. So a nice way to start the day with only 15 seconds left. We're going to watch DraftKings. We didn't talk too much about NIO. We're going to watch Palantir through that $24. NEO right now, levels we wrote down was 39. Let's see if it holds. And then we do have some high side love as well. But back downside, let's see what happens with NEO right here.
2 and 1. Market open. Let's get started, guys. All right, we're already locked and loaded, sort of ready to go here. I'm watching that CEMI and NNOX. They're going to be the first two, but as Sean mentioned, NEO, one that we didn't cover, it's already starting to dip down. So I want to quickly sort of go into some levels here. If it does come into that like 39.60 to 40 range, that's where I'll be looking to pick it up on a dip buy. Tesla holding above 7.05 as well.
Okay, so far so good, man. EBON, what a big win that was, as it comes flying in right now. EBON, you guys forgot about that one, didn't you? Short here, 750, out 740, and now looking for some more love to the downside right now on EBON. But we could wind up crashing that plane here. Small bid at the bottom of the day here. Then we took some at 63. Then I'm going to give this to about this 23.40 or so level. This is Palantir. Let's see if it can go back to the upside. Here it goes. All we have to do is complain a little bit, and it goes back upside. 23.67 right now, long on Palantir. Actually, it almost took us out, man. We're waiting for this 23.40 level, not 50, 23.40. Let's see if the NASDAQ continues to move up, but it looks like Palantir giving some back today. Like I said, we're not dying on any swords here, guys.
Yeah, not going to die. Well, we'll see what happens. But immediately, NNOX is going to test and break that pre-market low here at 61.60 or so. I actually just shorted it below 61. Watching AMC start to come back to the downside. UXIN from from Thursday. Check that, from Thursday. Got into that one to the short side. It's looking weak, down 10% after a big run, and was in play on Thursday's trade.
Okay, so here we go, guys. Big trade on EBON, guys. EHang. Right now, we just took some out 26s. Like, we just had some parked orders here, so that's a big deal for me. And a big trade, obviously, as we go. Okay, Palantir. Let's get some out if we can. 70. We're going to give us some 72s there. We took out some 71s already. We're only long 66s here. As now it's Rip City. Let's go. Dap it up. We're starting our day off right now as it just continues to go to the high side right now. As EBON with a big win, and now Palantir with a big win as well. Back. And we loaded up, guys. We waited for that 23.50. It held. Now we go long, and it's going to be a big win for us, hopefully, here on Palantir. AMC doing its dance, man. We still have that 960 area ready to go. Good thing we took some off in the pre-market on that imbalance. But right now, there we go, Neil. It's kicking, and it's Palantir.
Yeah, and for those of you guys watching at ACY, you remember how ridiculous that stock was last week. It's halted one more time, which was like a million times that it halted last week. So I'm going to stay away from that one, at least until it has some semblance of common sense. AMC just turned at 980. I was trying to pick some up in the 60s and 70s. No dip there yet. NNOX, about $1 in the money, and then it snapped right back. So the short's still good, despite the fact that it's dropped $12. Brendo?
Both the Dow and S&P opening in record high territory. NCLH, the first one popping up here on a monster print, guys, at the open there. Just took out that pre-market high, guys.
Yeah. Forgot about CCL. Okay, so we just took some AMC out, back on the way up. So let's check out CCL. Oh, damn you, Brendan. We were waiting for that. Yeah, just joking. Because, of course, if I just had remembered this. I did talk about CCL, how much I love the 28 break. Shout out to Daryl. I didn't see your comment or if you're even on here, but I missed it, man. We've just been loving our Palantir trade and our EHang and AMC as well. So, hey, look, man, we missed the CCL trade, but congratulations to anybody that had that. I gave it to you, and it would have been a big stick trade, but I didn't have it. So we'll go bang with the big stick here and give that to you guys on CCL. Congratulations anyone that has that. I'm just getting out of this Palantir trade as much as I can. It did rip up there right to 24 almost again where we started to get out. So Palantir again playing this one like a fiddle. Let's just see if we can't keep these profits.
Yeah, and want to go with the gate to hell action for NNOX. It was 68.50. Then we got the bottom break here when it took out the pre-market low at 61, got 60.83. It just broke 60 even. And look, I mean, I really don't even have an obvious target other than going to last week. You had this like a pullback into 52.60, so I'll park a bid in front of that. Just see if you can't get that far back to the downside. So a bit of a gap fill happening in NNOX, showing some weakness, as Brendan already mentioned that name. And then if you guys, for those of you guys that were trading with us on Thursday, a name that was active, and especially in the afternoon, was UXIN. You can see the monster move that it made on the session. I like this level here, this like 195 to 2 even. This was a previous top. I just wanted to see, does it have enough weakness to open down below it? So fading off of that 190, it took out this consolidation area at 175. I ended up with a 173 short. I just scalped some out below 70s and looking to take some more out in front of 160. How far it goes back down, we'll have to see, but some obvious levels on the way in here. So NNOX, UXIN to the short side. AMC getting close to that bid.
Okay, so Neo looks like they tried to hold that level there. So the Neo looks like it does hold that 40. So good little trade there. It's amazing the NASDAQ's taking off, and we don't really, the only thing we have on board is this Palantir, and it's not really doing much. So we've cashed out a little bit on that one. Hopefully we can cash out a lot. But here comes Neo. Let's see. This is weak today. Like a lot of these high flyers straight to the downside. We'll check out Tesla quickly as we haven't looked at that yet.
700.
Yeah, 700 even.
Bounced.
So a lot of these stocks coming back in a little bit here, giving you a good opportunity to buy stuff on the dirt cheap. Is it dirt cheap? What's up, Brenda?
One definitely not coming back in, and that was also mentioned here in the pre-market. Facebook, guys, just broke 304. A bit of a pullback now, but still a nice move off the bat here for Facebook.
And we've been talking about, and again, I put my neck on the line for you guys on Facebook. I told you that was a buy, and I've been buying that in the 70s. So now you're up that 10%, over 300. I love Facebook here. I love what they're doing, and I love the space. So Facebook, nothing but love for you. I think this 304 is a good little level there. Thank you, Ms. V, for the refill on Le Café.
Yes, sir. Man, double good news. Both Facebook upside, and we get a fresh coffee there. I want to get to that semi if I can, but I did start that AMC position at the 75 mark, so you'll see that tick in. CMI holds. What was the price we gave? 525? 526. It holds on the dip and tests towards the top. This is why I don't go bearish until it breaks a level like that. But 6 even was that resistance point. It tests the high going in here, and if I have a chance to take a fade off of a defined area like that, I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to chase it too far. What did I get there? 71s is the initial entry point. I'm only giving this to 6 even. If it breaks 6, I want to be all out of this one. But CEMI gave the levels that we liked here, and if it broke 525, that would have been one way. Now starting it at 571. So AMC long side, NNOX, and now CEMI, of course. And UXIN going to probably have that all day long.
All right, we can check. So we're just, I mean, E-Bong, this E-Hang, guys, like I don't even know what this is. And we are just like literally, dancing our way to some profits here. I mean, you talk about going short. I try to go both here, guys. Long, shorts, whatever the opportunities are. And I told you, like this one, again, like if you're listening to me in the pre-market, I said this one was a no-brainer break through 750. Actually surprised. Neil's normally the one shorting these ones. But look at this one, guys. We hammer this one to the short side, and there it is, man. A big trade here. Big one for E-Bon to the downside. Short that 750, and we just keep on going down. We'll see if we can't hold the rest of this one for sure. We averaged into our AMC trade, so now we're long at 986. We take bang, bang. Big trades here. Let's see if this one can go back to the upside. If this goes to 10, we're rocking and rolling. Oh, yeah, you want to talk about rocking and rolling? Finally, let's get some out. Bang, there it is. You guys have been waiting for this one all day as well. The bangs are back in the building, if I could find it. There it is, Palantir, guys. Look at this move. Talk about defending the bottoms here. This was a big position there up to the upside. And now we're taking out day's high here on NASDAQ. Day's high, AMC. Boom, it's a big one. Let's go, Brennan. It's hot dogs for everyone, including you, my friend.
Cruise lines going, so are the airlines, guys. UAL just popping up here through $60 for UAL, which was that last little pivot there on the daily chart. Nice look here for some of the airlines.
We'll go power this one up, guys. We talked about semi just a second ago. We got that 70s all the way back into what price? 525 was that little bottom. So it just got into the 30s. We're going to take profit out in front of it. Also have to go to what has been a fantastic one, is that NNOX continuing to slide downside. It's now at 57 bucks. So second short of the day was at that 61 break. AMC Sean got to as well, 75s. It's now into 10. I'm getting a bunch out in front of that 1010, that previous high that was so key a little bit earlier. And then look, gonna go right over to that. Go back to that. Sorry, EMI. But do not get away from some of the. We didn't talk about NCLH enough and CCL. I don't think we're gonna get back to those in a second. If we break 525, just a note here, I'm still shorting through 525, even though I already have a short. I'll take profit off in front of it and then engage back into a new position at 525. Just want to clarify that.
All right, guys, here we go, guys. E-bond to the moon right now. Yeah, no, I know E-hang is different. This is E-bang right now, so that's a good one for us. Yeah, AMC. Boom! We're not talking about putting on some shares. Yeah, we did, and we're now unloading up here at 10 and still thinking higher. We're 1 times daily goal and rocking right now. So E-hang has those virtual copters, not virtual, they're real, believe it or not, helicopters there, electric, but this bang right now to the downside off crypto news. And like I said, normally it doesn't matter for me, short or long. Here it is. There's another banger for you here. A big move. This is 50 cents on 7. So that's a big one. We're super happy with that. Okay, here goes AMC to the high side. We'll just keep taking off little by little here as we can. And that's how you know that we have a decent amount of shares. Bang, bang, bang to the upside. We're able to get it out. And then Palantir here. We're going to go 3 for 3 and 3 for 3 in a big, big way. All the pins set it up. This is why, like, you don't have to trade crazy amounts of names. You don't have to trade anything. You just have to focus and watch the stocks that you're looking at, man. Understand your levels. I love Palantir. I love AMC. And today we love money. Take it, Brendo.
Roblox, guys, just taking out the day high once again here. We tried above that 71 initially off the open, but a little bit more committed attempt here. 71.50 now for Roblox.
That's a good way to put a committed attempt. Like if it comes back and gives you like a 70, it was relatively thin trade as well. Like the spread was opening up a little bit here, so I'm gonna watch, see if we get back into like 70.50 in front of 70. Even 73 was another break that we did like on that particular name. NNOX, I'm gonna give it to. Look, I'm going to give it probably one more test at this 56 area before I start thinking about taking this off for like the $3 or $4 winner on the way back up. There's always a way to re-enter the trade. I just got into CEMI again, so that's a separate trade, 525 to the short side. We shorted 70s. We got out in front of 25. We're back in at 25. But I don't want the rest of this NNOX to come all the way back in on me. And I'm thinking, do I want to get short again? I'm still holding from before. So if we can't break through 56, I'm likely to take it out around 58 for that $3.5, $4 winner.
We were looking at Facebook here, taking out, we talked about that, taking out that 304. I like that level, but now we're back into it. So I don't know let me just try to find out what some levels are here. I'm looking at this 20 period moving average. Would love to get it back down here. I mean, I don't think we're going to get 298, not today. Well, we could, but not if it just continues to move upside. What was this? 301.52. So there is something on the 20-minute chart there, 301.50. That's exactly where we bounced. So, you know, this could be a spot there if you did think the NASDAQ was going to continue to run. 302.50 or so, a good trade there for Facebook, but we could come back in to 301.50. So I think we'll take some small longs here and see what we can do with 301.50 as our bottom. But right now, Palantir, here we go. We did not break the top yet. Let's take off one more piece because we are going to get longer if it does break back through 24. So, I mean, talk about a playbook and talk about knowing exactly and giving you guys the exact play that we wanted here. There goes Palantir. Okay, so it goes only to 05. We'll see if we get some orders out there at 05. We did take a long there. There it is. Did we get filled? No, we did not. Palantir right now ripping, man. 24.05. It did go here the last couple days. Let's just see how high we got. There was 23.80, 23.90 last time. So this is kind of new territory right now for Palantir. But me likey a lot. Money. What's up, B?
Pinterest, guys, having a nice start to the day here as well. Just broke 80, had an alert set on that. 3% here to the upside for Pinterest. We learned back on Wednesday, I believe, they acquired that little photo company, VSCO. So 3 days in a row here for Pinterest to the upside.
Yeah, love me some pins. I only had the breakout that I was looking for on Palantir, of course. Break 24, give it to like that 65, so a bit of a tighter range. It's actually a cleaner move. It goes down first, then makes the break is better than it happening right at 9:30. So we're gonna take some out in front of that 20s. If it goes again in front of 25s, I'll do that. I'm not into the dip buy just yet, but I do want to go back over to AMC because speaking of dip buys, We talked about this one first started at 75. I actually said 65s, and then as the market opened up, I said, no, I should try some 75s here. So we got that one to you. And then it turned around off of 1010. And I said I would get some out in front of 1010. That's what I did. It gives me the opportunity to reload at these same prices, that 65 to 75 area, if AMC wants to come down. So rinse and repeat action. Market's still pushing that 1% to the upside, so looking pretty good here to go long. The only thing I want to be short on outside of that UXIN is going to be this CEMI, semi. It is continuing this rollover as I say that, giving an opportunity in consolidation to see if I can't get a few more shares here. But I'd like to get better than like the 25 I had before. So if I can catch some 30s, I'll be all over that particular price. So this is going to be the short that I'll be in. And then UXIN tests that 190. I got 185 to the short side. I'll use the 192 top as my out. Palantir still going, but AMC just resisted my dip buy.
Hell yeah, Palantir's still going. And this is what we're doing, guys. It's just a banger. I mean, we've been talking about Palantir for a long time. We've averaged in, man. And yeah, this is just going to be once again another big success story for the show today. Big time move for Palantir. We just tweeted out Palantir EBON. And look at this. You know what? I don't know. Should we just take this out? $1 right now. Hydration Nation in the building. What up to Shakib as well? There's $1. Let's just take it. There it is. We'll see if we can't offer this clean dollar on Facebook to see if we just get out right there. There it is. $1 in a minute on Facebook. It's hot dogs for everybody. As right now we're 1.5 times daily goal and still rip City Man. 42 cents on EBON. We're almost out. We have 10% left on EBON. Palantir. The fun continues here. Let's get some more out as I just really surprised at the action here. Although shouldn't be too surprised as this is a big holding for myself and all that we ever talk about. It seems like, anyways, as far as success is concerned. Palantir, and there's AMC back to the high side as well. Brendan, we don't need more names, but give them to us.
CLF, we talked about this one last week. Infrastructure-related move last week, 3-4 days in a row to the upside. 52-week highs here, above 20.5, guys, for CLF.
And I'm going to go with riding a bit of a bear on NNOX. And we talked about this one to sort of not to death, but this was a short that we definitely had to have. Now, I said what the plan of action was going to be on the way out. If it failed, broke through that 56, that's what I was going to do. I was going to take these shares out on the way back up. I did like it down to 52.60, but you cannot complain if you're going to catch like a $5 winner on this stock. So let's be perfectly happy with the out. We can still fade into it if it retests that pre-market low at 62. So there's always a route back to get into this one. Lots of ways you can play the market, guys. That's why we try to give you as many perspectives as possible. But either way, Palantir right at that quarter mark starting to pull back. I'm going to like the dip this time. Now that I've taken a more profit out, I'm going to like the dip probably down to about 23.85 to 24 even. So look to add back into that one. Don't want to miss the dip like just happened a second ago in AMC. That's still in the money. 75s. Having some trouble at 10.10 though. Palantir, if it gives me like anything from 85 to 24 even, I'm going to be buying some more shares to get back into this long position. And semi doing nothing. We're just playing the consolidation short in that particular name. As the market heads up, Tesla just made a retest, and of course, there we go. Tesla just made a retest of that 700, or is retesting that 700 on the way back in here. So it did flush down. It made a 95 bottom. Now we're looking at this 700. I like these on the way back up if you want to go like tight stop for a bit of a long position. So it's not like a 700 break because clearly we've come downside, but I do like the opportunity that we've come down. I saw this happen before at 600. Where it got to like 95, 96, and then pushed through, and I didn't take it. So today I like this one through 700 even. I'm not going to give it through the low of the day here, but with the market screaming upside, let's see if Tesla can't join this party, even though it is up 6%.
All right, another one. You guys like the spinning money thing, but either way, it's raining down over here today. Look at Facebook. We gave you this 302.20, that downside. That was the easy one. We took the dollar clean on that in less than a minute. We were defending this 301.50, but then we also talked about it breaking through 304. So when that happens, we immediately 40 cents, 43 cents, 55's out. So right now we're at 60. So a nice little 60, 70 cent winner now here. I do have some upside targets. Actually, did I cancel? No, 83s. For some reason, I'm at 304.83 right now. We get as high as 97. We almost got to 305 there. Didn't have the order out. So right now we just touched 75. Maybe we got to adjust that. But yeah, if you're looking for some Palantir trades, guys, I'm going to be getting in whenever. We'll see. Back into this area, 23.95. But look at this destruction already. Bang, 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 upside. Everything is moving today, and we're at the highest spot we've been at all day. It's like a cash register around here, Brendo.
I just noticed this one as well, starting to print some money. ChargePoint, guys, we talked about this last week, coming off of Biden's announcement about a national EV charging network, I guess, right across the entire country. So 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row now to the upside for CHPT, another 7.5%.
Yeah, ChargePoint's been such a mover, but I want to go back to this UXIM. We talked about this from last week's action into that 190 range. That's where I load up. It comes back to VWAP. Am I always going to, if it tests the pre-market high and I load into shares there, I'm always taking profit in front of VWAP. That's like, it's just an absolute given, especially on $2 stock. You're going to take start taking profit at 5 cents or at 5 cents, 10 cents, 5, 10, 15, 20, all that kind of thing. Won't necessarily be $1 on this one, but if it is, that would be absolutely insane. So I'm not going to sit here and stare that gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to start taking profit. I'll short one more time in front of that high of the day, but you don't want to dig in too hard if you haven't taken any profit in the first place. I did grab a quick little scalp in front of VWAP on Tesla. It's not looking like it wants to break through. This was kind of almost a legitimate like 704 area in the pre-market, and then off the open, it run into some chop here. So I'm targeting in front of 710. If you look at right where we were at 9:30, this was Tesla here at 709 before that little flush. So if I can catch $8, $9 on this little 700 retracement play, I'll be very, very happy with that. This is one of those sessions where like the money's sort of coming in here. You don't want to get yourself burned by getting too greedy. Take profits when you have a bit of a streak going on, guys. And I want to go back to that Roblox if I can. Now pulling back in, no consolidation. This is interesting. Like, it's very thinly traded. The spread is like 10, 15 cents at a time. No real sideways action. Let's see what happens at the 700. I'm looking for the first level that I can actually defend here, but it's not really showing any signs that it wants to slow down or consolidate until literally right now in front of 70 even.
Ms. V? Nope.
What?
Okay, not Ms. V yet. Facebook here. Okay, there it is. $1 winner right now, so we'll hit the cowbell as it just continues to go, man. We are going to be 4 for 4 right now, and huge 4 for 4. Look at Facebook. Buy down here, 302. Buy again up here on the 304 break, and now we're upside 305. This is $1. Like, look at these trades that I have on, guys. 973 long, AMC, 25 cents in the money. E-Bond, 50 cents in the money. Facebook, $1.20 now in the money. Palantir, 15 cents in the money. And still going. Now it's Brendo time. What up, bud?
Yeah, it's good to see some, cross-sector stocks moving all at once in the same direction. I'm talking about Home Depot, guys. Just noticed 1.5%. Recent highs up here. 310 got broken right off the bat there. 1.5% for Home Depot. I was at Home Depot on the weekend and there was nothing in it. Inventory's gone. It's impossible to buy anything that is related to home improvement at this point, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, prices of everything sort of going to the upside as well for supplies. And we talked a little about this. I mean, passing along of those prices, whether that not at least inflation remains to be seen. AMC, still no dip, guys. I want to see if we can't get back into the 75 range, but at some point, it's going to turn into a possible breakout and breakout only. If I get a shot, I'll take some shares off in front of 10-15. That's the current high of the day. The longer we consolidate, the more I like an opportunity for a 10-15 breakout. Palantir looking good for a reload. It finally came back to that 24 even. Miss V?
Hey Neil, chat talks about NIO. Stock is up around 2%. Do you see any opportunities for yourself in this name?
Actually, we talked a little bit about this in NEO, if it could hold like a dip back into like 40. Now, of course, I went into Tesla, took a break, scalped some out, it turned to VWAP, so I get out, break even the rest of that. As NEO starts to retest this little low, I like that 40 level. You put in a break here. It's almost a failed break because it got to 39.91, so it really is a failed break. So if we can hold 40 even, put in a higher low, I like it to VWAP, I like it back to that 40.50. You're usually going to be scalp trading here, and I already tried Tesla once, but Tesla was more of a breakout. When I look to buy dips, it's more likely going to be in something like your Neos with more liquidity when you go counter trend. Counter trend in Tesla I don't really love. I'd rather catch Tesla on the way up if I'm going long. But I'm going to start defending Neo in front of that 40 even. We wanted that level to play, and we're going to get a chance here starting in the low 20s.
All right, pizza time, guys. Facebook now all-time highs, I believe. If we could double check this, 305 and change, and we just keep on ripping up, man. This is a big win here for me, guys. $1.70 now in the money as we go, Mamma Mia on that one, and we'll go bullseye. Have we traded Facebook today or what, guys? 302 break out, 303.11. That's $1, and then the 304 break right now. $2 in the money. So a little face slap on the cash going through right now. Big time wins happening for yours truly on this side as well. AMC 20. Right now we're cruising, man. eBond lowest spot of the day. Palantir 21 cents in the money. Let's keep this party going. I don't know what else to do other than keep trying to find you guys some winners. Mr. Softy rips up in my account, man. I mean, this has just been such a great buy. I know, Brendan, I think you were, I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong, but I think you bought this maybe downside as well. I know we are dipping into some Apple and into some AMD, but what a great move for Softy lately. Look to get in on this one as it is doing the same as Facebook right now, breaking out, man, taking out new highs. What a 2 times, there it is. We're at 2 times daily goal right now. So it's hot dogs for everybody. And this is what happens when you're going 5 for 5 on a day. It just keeps on getting better. I love my family. Take care. You guys are at home. I wish I was with you, but I'm more than happy to be here with you guys right now because, wow, what a big move here. Here goes Palantir as well, making its way back to the high side, near the high of the day on Palantir. So, yeah, man, we're just cruising around right now. We take a lot of shares on some of these positions, so that's why right now we're at our daily goal, and it's only 9.54. We're actually at 2x right now, so let's just keep on watching and trying to find those best trades for all of you.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic here. We're going to do with a little bit of a moonwalk action here. Took that semi, of course. Missed this rollover here. We want to try to get some shares on the way down, not the way up. You can miss it sometimes. It pushes into 5. You get a bunch of shares out. Look at the levels here. Pre-market down to 470. There was some chop there when I first shorted it at 485, 490. That's the other area of concern. We'll take some bids out in front of it. AMC did not break the top, so no breakout long just now. But I can tell you that not just CEMI, that UXIN dying a slow death as well. So it breaks through 180. The next level down is going to be that 175. We're going to hang on to this short for dear life. Did pick up that NEO at 21. I'll build in front of that 40 even. We talked about, so Palantir, NEO, and AMC to the long side, and it's the small cap game to the south side. And then going to watch back on that NNOX, which this was, obviously going to be a nice little trade here. I thought after holding 56 would have a stronger bounce to be able to fade, maybe closer to 61. Not quite there yet, but you don't have to chase these names. Get the price that you want, make the trades that work best for you, as opposed to just saying, oh man, I missed it by a little bit. No, get your price, make sure your risk reward works well, and that's how you're going to make that coin, guys. Either way, I do feel like we did get a little too cute. Let's call it. We got a little too cute on AMC. I would say, because there was this chance here at like 980. Either way, I'm taking this break through 1015. That's what we said we'd do. If I can't get the dip buy, fair enough. The breakout's still in play at 1015 after it finally took out that 1010. Only longs for me on AMC for now.
305. I'm just looking at my Facebook here. I don't know, man. $3 in the money sounds pretty good to me right now. We just got to 307 on Facebook. So, wow. Look, again, whether or not you are with us or against us, you have to understand that, I'm making calls, and this Facebook call at 272 or whatever it was, not even too long ago, you're reaping some benefits today, up another 2.5%. I was chilling out and, at a park with my father and telling him that I thought the NASDAQ was even going to get some more, behind it. So it looks like today that's true, but we don't want to, let this stock get too much away from us as it's right now at 306. So things falling down a little bit here in the NASDAQ, but, when you got the big winners, you can hold on for a little bit, but I'm thinking about catching some of this out right now. Palantir coming back down. Facebook still $2. AMC, though, starting to rip. That's 30 cents now in the money plus. Brendo.
All right, one not participating here today. Again, space, guys. Virgin Galactic just straight to the downside, just blasted through $30 there, which was a bit of a level here on the daily chart. So space still showing some relative weakness, guys.
Remember when we talked about Virgin Galactic? If it gave you that move off of that 2750 and you zero revenue companies, take some profit. This is not the first time that it goes up when you get that double up. So anyways, that was just my take on Virgin Galactic. Unless you literally have like a long time horizon, you got to make sure you're taking profit on those names. I thought we'd see some more strength in that in NIO. Dip buy, the first one that will not be successful, so that we'll give a NEO the beat of the poo. But bottom wick, So get a bit of a fail break. It breaks the low of the day, does not go any lower than that, and then it gives you the snap back up. Now, I've said it a few times here. The second we can hold above 40 even and we get any kind of a bid, I'll take a second shot at it. But I want to make sure the bid gets back above that price. It's been testing off of that new low at 85 and still holding the offer. But once we hold above 40 for even like a few seconds or a few decent bids, I want to jump right back into that long in the event that that was a bit of a flush out that took out some weak. I had a long too, so took out some weak hands and then possibly got some people short at the low of the day. You like that bit of a trap, especially in an upward market. So second the bid is holding above 40 even without making fresh lows. I'm going to go back to NEO one more time. And then AMC is still holding on to that long. Palantir back at 24 again. So that one keeps giving you those reloads.
I think I'm just going to maybe I'll get some out here on AMC if I can get some 03s, 04s, something like that. We're already at 28 cents in the money. So we did try NEO as well, and it did fall out. We did get out there on that break of 39.90 or so, but we're back into the long, and we're going to get more long here if it does go back down. So we'll just see. Although, we've noticed this stock in the past, the last couple days actually. Remember we talked about NEO being weaker than the market. So no surprise here that if the market does wind up falling, that NEO probably heads to the south side. Is just you always try to catch those longs because if it does get some bids behind it, then we can start to run like crazy. But there we go, 379. So let's wait to see here what NEO wants to do. We should have just stuck with Facebook as Facebook, man, continues to run. 307 now? No roller coaster today at all for Facebook. It's really still climbing up the mountain. Let's see where it does fall. Now I'm going to change my order. It was 305 even. Now we're going to sell this through 305.50 as averages keep moving up, and this stock just keeps on crushing longs. So let's wait to see, crushing to the long side. Let's see, 305.50, my new out. We're going to make sure that we capture at least $1.50 on this, guys.
That's what it's all about, guys. Make sure you capture that profit. Make sure you hold on to those winners. I'm going to go to NCLH. I know we ignored it a little bit. I had my dip buys in. It never came down. Ignore these. These are just dark pool wicks. It never actually printed those prices. Now we're testing 30 even, so round number alert for NCLH on 30. If it pulls back to like 29.50 off that, we're going to be all over it. I did reload Palantir at 24. Finally, and I can tell you that UXIN is continuing to die that slow death that we love here, guys. Just on the bid at this consolidation level, it's the next one down, right in front of that 170 area. And I still have some bids down 160s and 150s. So this one will be a nice little win for us, never giving us any trouble. And right now, we're taking you guys to the big screen, Brendan, and happening now.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets. Nicely positive right across the board so far. The S&P 1%, the Dow hovering around that 0.8%. But yeah, the NASDAQ trying to lead here. 1.08, 0.9 for the 100, the composite. So good to see some of the tech stocks bouncing back, even with the 10-year higher again today. So a nice look for the market. The Russell, 0.6% to the upside. Here in Toronto, the TSX did get positive, but only just 0.2%. A couple of things from the watch list we were talking about in the pre-market. I don't think we actually got to Plug Power, but Plug Power was higher on some positive news here in the pre-market. But yeah, they don't like this today. 34 being tested right now, straight downside for Plug Power. The other one, DraftKings, yeah, just saw a big flush in DraftKings from 64 down to 62.5 here, that prior low area. So we're trying to hold at initial support, guys, for DraftKings. Back to you.
It's not always the best day trading stock, that DraftKings, I'll tell you that much. But either way, it's always going to be worth a look. But I'm probably going to stick. I like DraftKings a little bit after the morning rush here, and then maybe into the afternoon. I think that's when it's going to be worth that look. Going to go back to AMC just to remind everybody, looking at this double top, still in a strong move up here. Not even getting the pullback into VWAP, so you're showing a lot of support here and a lot of strength. So I like that 10-15 break. We're still going to have it. But of course, have to come back over to Palantir. Now, this has been a different, I shouldn't say it's entirely a different story, but it's very, very similar in terms of the look. But it is basing all the way back out at VWAP. That's why I reloaded in front of 24 even. Look, I like it back to this 85. Now, before I was giving it 65. That was for an opening breakout trade. This is not the open anymore. We're now past that 10 o'clock. So on a reload, I will tighten things up. It's made a double top here, so you don't want to get too trapped. There's going to be always opportunities. The stock is in 18 million shares. You can always get back into a Palantir. And of course, the same way I did the first time, I'm going to be getting some shares out on the way up to that 24, 25, back into that quarters. We love to play those quarters and those 50s as well. So same game in Palantir. The only difference is stop move to 23.85 now on the reload.
Okay, yeah, just looking. So NEO again there, we lost again on that stock. So we tried to grab, the long there, and yeah, failed the long. So needless to say there, Palantir to the failed, Palantir. NEO just continues to drop down, and we did get out there. Not going to hold anything past this low of the day. We talked about that over and over again. So it just fails, even though the NASDAQ goes to the high side there. Yeah. Palantir continues to fail. Okay, Facebook does come out at that 305.50 level. Stay disciplined. That's what we're going to do. And I like to consider myself, just a disciplined trader sticking to our rules. So there it is, 305.50. $1.70 out. That's a hot dog cannon for sure, as we'll take that out there for that $1.70 win. And now we'll just see if we can't go back to the high side on some of these names, man. eBond now 50 cents in the money and still making a move down off this 750 level. So that's a big trade for us. Super happy with the way that one has pieced out. And then we only have one little piece left of our AMC, and that continues to go to the high side. I don't know. I'm looking for a spot to reload here in Microsoft. In Facebook, just wondering, like that took out that all-time high of 304.67, and now you're starting to go higher, but that little fade in there, making me a little cautious. We've dumped a lot of our stuff now, guys, so we're very, very light on Palantir now, although that was a good retest, like Neil was mentioning there, of 24, so that could be a spot to get loaded in again. For me, I'd rather wait a little bit lower than that level, and then I don't know, man. I mean, NEO just bouncing around here. I think we'll wait for the market to turn and then maybe try to find a short in NIO.
Yeah, I mean, NEO's a frustrating one for me, and it's just going to continue to be that as long as it resists that, any kind of a bounce back with the market looking strong. Now, someone asking, apologies for not seeing in the chat exactly who it was, but like, what do you do with an Alibaba here? You see the tech names starting to fly, these Chinese names. Even though I love Baba in terms of their business, I mean, like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that in terms of the upside as well. But getting relatively beat up, we're pushing highs. You're seeing Facebook on the rally. You're testing out on those Thursday lows, guys, down around this like 223.50 area. Do we see some value? I mean, I'd like to see some consolidation for a bit of a scalp trade, but yeah, you're absolutely right. This looks like an interesting sort of pivot to see if there can be some strength in some of the Chinese names. Baba's the one that I would play. I suppose you can also look at a JD.com, but this gets down towards this 223. Gonna have to look up Alibaba for a bit of a bounce. It's gonna be hard to get away from. I wanted to go to Palantir just for a quick second because just to give you guys an update, I took out some more shares, but it had more to do with, of course, my level 2 didn't change. So I'll have to do it manually for you guys here. But there was a bit of a, I want to say like big fake size buyer that was just throwing some bids in there in like the mid-teens there. So I took more shares off. Not all the way to 25, but took them off in front of 20, just thinking, hey, if that's fake size, trying to push it up, likely it ends up coming right back down into this 24. So for whatever reason, it's not showing the same kind of strength, but I still want to hold on to the long. As long as it's above 85, I'm going to hang on to it. AMC back below that 10. A few stocks starting to round off here. That's why no new long positions and trimming both AMC and Palantir.
Yeah, I think you need to trim right now too, because I mean, just the market, like we said, looking like it wanted to come down. New all-time highs. We did it, guys, on Softy, man. And unless I'm incorrect here, 247.70, like the previous all-time high looks to be a 245.80, 246-ish. I mean, the daily chart looks ridiculous, but right around here. So we do break. I don't know if this wick was real. That's the question, really. But right now, 247, still going to the high side. Now goes Palantir, or goes Microsoft. So I'm debating now if I do think that there is going to be a rollover in the market, which there may be. This is a decent shorting opportunity right here at 248. So, the market could roll over here. So we're very, very cautious. We're still holding on to everything that we believed in as far as the short side goes, and that was eBond, as this is now 55 cents in the money and still making moves to the downside. We still have it. And then we're still holding our AMC long as well at 10.03. Check back in on Roblox, man. Like, really the only name that I haven't looked at. And I mean, what we wrote on here, where was it, 71? Yeah, 71 and a quarter, right? That break that was right in the middle actually happened, and it did give you that 50 cents. But I don't think that would have been a reasonable size to take. Like, I think this is a losing trade if you did have that, because you're probably waiting for a little bit higher. So like we said, the first day for me that to see a real nice upgrade on Roblox, normally to me, that's a sign to get in. So you're up that 4%. Let's just wait to see. We did want to wait on Roblox to see if we did build something here on the downside. Let's check in on a 20-minute chart here quickly. for Roblox, and it's not going to give us a whole hell of a lot. Again, a relatively new stock here, just trying to find its way. This is 70, so you did have some bouncing spots at 70, but we've already tested downside today, 69.50, so that could come into play. Like, if you're not breaking higher off these upgrades, then maybe you're breaking lower. So let's watch out here. 69.50 is going to come into question. If you're long Roblox, please watch out for that level. I think this is a decent shorting opportunity through 69.50 here if it's going to fail on the high side.
Yeah, and Semi, C-E-M-I, not Semi, the character from Coming to America. That second movie wasn't even that good, to be perfectly honest with you. I was a huge fan. It pains me to say that. Rounding out above this $5 range. Now, I'm going to make a bit of an adjustment to the short that I have on. I took two shorts. One was off this 570, then we got one around this 530 mark in the rollover. I'm going to take a breakdown at 5 even. So I've taken just about not everything, but just about everything off in front. I'm going to conclude the position here and then take a 5 even break. So I like to do this if it shows that it's making a temporary bottom. One of the stocks that I'd identified is relatively strong, which I did say this one looked pretty strong in the morning. I don't want to get too caught up when it hasn't broken these pre-market levels to the downside. I'll take the profit in front. There's always other shorts that you can have. So I'll go 499 stop, of course, once it breaks 5 even, and then see if I can't pick some more shares up to get back into this one. So as usual, scalping in and out of it. If it pushes to the upside, I would maybe test out like a 545, 50. But really at this point, you almost have to give it to the top if it wants to hold these levels. Brendo?
Medley here, MDLY. We mentioned this one back on Friday, had a crazy move, or sorry, Thursday of last week, had a crazy move up to almost 13 at the top there, was halting a number of times, if you remember, on the way up. Just resumed again, so we had a big move up again through 9, halted. We're seeing some downside action now, still 5% again today for MDLY.
Okay, yeah, lots of names to look at. I'm trying to find some levels here for you on Palantir, like 20. I'd rather wait for it to get a little lower, but I think a 24 is okay. If I do get this, though, guys, we're looking at 23.88 or so, like this kind of a drop area here where we initially started getting out. I mean, I think, especially if the market fails, we'd like to go to the downside, but I don't think the market's going to fail here. So let's get a little more Palantir right now. So we'll punch in to a little bit more long here at 24.05 or 06. What price did I get there? 06, yeah. So good level there. We'll see if it can go higher from here. I do like it. Damn it, there's that softy breaking higher. What's Facebook doing? Wow, right back to day's high as well. So good out because, look, it went all the way down here to 304.75, but maybe should have got back in on some of that resistance. NASDAQ heading higher, man. We didn't really think that was going to be too possible today. Another 1.3%. So a good move up, man.
Yes.
We've liked this market. Wow, Boeing as well taking off. So yeah, man, this is another big winner for me that we've talked about this. Being long at 212 here on Boeing, up to 257. Everything working out. We took some DraftKings off at 70 the other day when we noticed that was like a quad top. Now we'll wait to see. Come on, DraftKings. Now we'll wait to see today as they got into some of the casino names there today, buying, I forget what it was, some sort of a lottery there. That's in our note. But 62.70 the bottom. I don't like trading this one in the middle of the day. I've talked about that all the time. So we'll stay away from DraftKings, but it's on our list. So definitely worth watching out for. And then everything else, man. I mean, I'm just over the moon with Palantir, Microsoft today, and Facebook, guys. What a big one. Now we just need to wait. I mean, what the hell's going on with AMD? This is only at 81. So next shoe to drop, hopefully, is going to be AMD to the high side. So barcoding right now, guys. Watch out for AMD if it does break above VWAP 81.20.
Yeah, and all we got to do is jump over the moon. AMAT trying to do that exact same thing. Look, we talked about this being one of the stronger names that had already pushed in, making a fantastic high. I didn't get to the 150 for the fade, so I guess I could have taken that breakdown trade, but it is what it is. It's pulled back in to Thursday's close, I should say, 141.50, and making a little bit of a bounce off it here. So I'm now liking the long trade in AMAT. Normally, I'd be thinking about taking this break at 143, but now that you see the market sort of consolidating at the top here, there actually might be a better opportunity to catch it in front of 142 and just give myself a better price. So I'm going to go with the patient approach, throw a bid down in front of that 142, thinking if the market levels off, I can get something in the middle of the range instead of only ever taking the breakout. If it breaks yesterday, keep saying yesterday, breaks Thursday's close, that was 141.52, rounded to 141.50. I'll be all out of AMAT. We wanted to buy a dip. It's given us that dip, and the market's still showing some strength. That's why I like that buy over in Applied Materials. AMC, I feel like we're finally going to get it here. Here comes another test at this 10.15. Let's see if it finally gives us a break that particular price. Brendo, what's up?
Might have been a dark print here. FAMI, mushroom grower, not that kind of mushroom. Actual mushroom grower, FAMI, Farmini, 3.5%. Just popped up on a volume scanner there, but might have been a large dark print, guys. Not terribly exciting.
Yeah, I remember that mushroom. We talked about that a long time ago before it started ripping up like crazy, that FAMI there. Not psychedelic mushrooms, so good call on that one. If you're looking for some of those, MadMen and some of the other companies, MindMed, MadMen, some of those other companies that we've had on. Look at this Palantir, guys. It doesn't get any easier than this. We talked about it loading up, and that's exactly what we did as we just keep on ripping higher and higher and higher today as far as the NetWise is concerned. Bang! We got rid of Facebook way too early, obviously. As you saw that, well, not really. Facebook's still a top stock for me. The only stock we've lost on is NEO today, and good thing we did, man. All the way back down. We're looking for some more shorts. But look at this one. Boom! AMC, your favorite animation coming your way. Money. 50 cents now in the money on AMC as it just keeps on ripping up. And then Palantir. I mean, we should be hitting the money sign for Palantir. Palantir, I think the most profitable stock here today, and it just keeps on ripping, man. Keeps on making us cash as we're out 28s, 29s. Look at this defense of VWAP right there. We told you that I was going to put on some decent shares and then use this 23.90 as my out. So a good little look for that one as Palantir just taking out 30s, 40s. AMC 50 cents in the money, EBON 50 cents in the money, and Palantir 30 cents in the money now. So happy days are upon us, guys, in this market if you're trading the same names as us.
Yeah, and all of my AMCs from the dip are out, and it's now into that new breakout position. That 10.15 was the breakout price. 16 was the execution that we got. So if you want to continue this party, it's going to be a new one for me, which of course means a new stop. We'll give it back to about 10 even, couple of pennies below that particular price. I can also tell you that that CEMI, we got all out of this one, and we thought there'd be that 5 even break. But you keep in mind here, one of the reasons that we get out is not just because I want the 5 break, but because it's showing support at that price. So it bounces back in, doesn't quite give me a reload, but you save yourself some money when you take that profit. As an active trader, you can get back into position. 67 million shares worth of volume, so there shouldn't be any trouble getting back into a new position if you do happen to like it. I can tell you AMAT just a second ago. Let's be patient, Neil said. Let's wait for 142, Neil said, and 143 on the break. I'm going to stick to the plan here. It has wicked above this price, resisted VWAP. I still think it's in a bit of a consolidation. I could be wrong about that, and maybe we missed the boat on the dip buy, but I don't want to pay up that extra dollar when we're still, I was going to say we were still slowing down in the market to the upside. Probably no longer. If we do break VWAP, we can always take a 143.50 breakout on AMAT and then work it up $1 to this price area from the opening range. So AMAT, probably not done with it. I still like the dip a little bit better than this 143 break. Even if it happens right now, we might have missed it, but we love this stock. In general, there'll be plenty of opportunities to play it, especially if it shows continued strength all the way up through this like 143.50 into that 145. Brendo?
Okay, this Excel Brands, which is XELB. The ticker NASDAQ 85% here. Huge volume to say the least, but a big move as well. It's already gone, as I mentioned, 85%. They picked up this logo brand by Lori Goldstein. So apparel maker here picking up logo by Lori Goldstein. So big move for them. XELB, guys.
Okay, I don't know anything about any of that. So that's a good name if you're looking at logo to have a look. That's what Brendan's doing, guys, bringing us all the names. And you may be, just because we're not trading them doesn't mean it's not on your scanners, on our scanners. And we keep talking about that. Trade the names that are moving. But I'm going to say just trade the names that you keep on dominating. And there's Palantir again, guys, today. Look at this stock. We're back on days high now on Palantir. And this is the stock that we've been trading all day for you and giving you these levels. So super happy about the way Palantir's traded. We gave this to you downside 76. We said we were in a little bit of trouble. We bid it up. We waited for 50 to break. It did, but we waited for 40s because we gave it a little bit more room. You can't take out the very bottom. And then now resisting that VWAP trade. Now to the upside goes Palantir. So making us a lot of money here today. PLTR. Let's just keep the party going on this name, guys. AMC 50 cents now in the money. So that's obviously a good name for us as well, as that keeps on going off of these bottoms. So far, man, the playbook, like a glove today, Neil. All these plays coming straight through. And if you want to find the sticky note, you can find that up on my Twitter because all these plays are right there. We haven't even looked at PaySafe yet, so I'm going to check that out when we get back.
And speaking of names that are on lists, remember Roblox? look at this hold. It's look 70 even has been turned into a bit of an iceberg order. So look, I just crossed the spread and picked up. Look, it's a bit of a 10-cent spread. So I crossed the spread and actually picked up 8s here. And if it wants to break 70 after a consolidation like this, and I can risk, it'll be like 10 cents plus slippage, which could be as much as 15 or 20. But I mean, even a muted bounce gives you like 30, 40, 50 cents worth of a win. I love levels like that when you're a day trader and you can be active here. So look, if 70 goes, fair enough. We'll take the hit on Roblox, but we wanted to buy a dip if we could, and it's going to show me a level like that. I'll take it all day, every day. If you want to come back over to that AMC, it's going to be, it's not yet a failed break, but it's getting pretty close, right? Like, it gave you a couple legs out, and the first out was me covering the 975 buy. The second out in front of 20 was a 5-cent scalp. And now you're rounding out, the market's still pushing higher, AMC really starting to slow down, but maybe it's just coiling. I would love to see us just hang out here for like a minute or two, maybe shake some people out and then get your secondary push. I'm not changing any of my orders yet, but you have to note this did not exactly scream to the upside when it broke that 10-15 area, the same way Palantir has basically been doing its hold, and then finally broke to 24.50, where I took out my Palantir in front of that 50 mark. I'm going to do that almost every single time, the quarters and the 50s. I can always take a 24.50 break. I can always buy into the dip, more likely around the 10 to teens as opposed to exactly at 24 like we were doing before, where it was going to give you that obvious price. I think now if you buy the dip, you're going to have to pick it up in front of VWAP as opposed to waiting to get the perfect price.
All right, I'm just looking up some stuff here and trying to find out the next trade. So I took that Roblox as well. I mean, that's a pretty easy level right there, 70. So we'll see if we get back up to 71 and a quarter. That's sort of my target area there for RBLX, 71 and a quarter. But Brendan is ready. Oh, Oracle, some sort of a suit right here. We'll talk about that when we get back from Brendan. Small cap recap, let's go.
Hey guys, yeah, we had a few of the little ones on the watch list this morning. NAOV, one of the ones that was up in the pre-market here, was holding levels, key levels in the pre-market as far as support is concerned. So it did give you a little bit of a long opportunity overall, though volume already dying on this one, if anyone else was watching. NAOV, I was looking at 145 and then 155, which is this consolidation from the daily time frame as resistance. Anything above that would have given you a push, but didn't actually get there. eBang, yeah, we talked about this one. 755, 775 was the consolidation, bottom, top of the consolidation in the pre-market there. Did give you a really good re-up on the short side right before the open, then straight southbound to where we were on Friday, which was right around 7. So great trade for eBang International. CEMI ChemBio, Neil was mentioning that COVID test. They have a test that will determine whether you have COVID or the normal flu. That got FDA approval. So nice test of pre-market highs there right before the open. That one all the way back to 5 for CEMI. Guys, back over to you.
Thank you very much, Brendan. And I went to put this happens from time to time. I went to put in that 40 buy on NEO if it retook the level. And I'm like, wait a minute. I already have that stop. I'm already prepared. Look at that, like a Boy Scout already prepared. Look, we've held 2 levels here. I tried to hold 75, of course, and then now it's actually holding this 50. But each time on the way back, it's held that 40 even. So I'm going to stick with the plan of after I got stopped out the first time, it has to retake 40 even for me to get back in. So that's going to be the name of the game for me. There's no other way to play it here. I don't want to sit here. And I've gotten in that mode where you're just picking the bottom, you're trying it over and over again, it doesn't work out. It's a lot different with Roblox. It has yet to break this 70 area. You did have this, look at this opening flush. And this is why Roblox was never a trade for 930, and I stick away for those names. If we tell you there's not a lot of liquidity in there, that can be a watch out trade because your levels might not matter as much as you think when there's low liquidity right at 930. They get blown out, and sometimes the move is the opposite way. Like if a stock is going to go up, you get some big sell action, so some people get some better prices that happen to like it. Now there's an iceberg order on the bid of 70 even, and that's what we're working off of in Roblox, of course. There we go, gonna go manual there. It's not a lot of size in the bid. We showed you that live. It was holding only 100 shares on like multiple gateways, but it can't seem to break it on Roblox, so I'll use that as my support. Then get some out at VWAP, some out in front of that 70-50 spike, all the way up to this area. You hear the 71 pre-market top, and of course, both Sean and I talking about that number as a bit of a price target for a potential break as well in Roblox. I'll definitely take some off there. We just got a little bit out in front of VWAP, so we'll take a bit of a win there. We give you guys consolidation levels. We'll show you some support that we see real time in the middle of the day. We'll give you some breakout trades. There's lots of different styles to work off of. I can tell you the AMC break is finally starting to go. If you can guess what price that is, you win, I don't know, you win my gratitude, but come on. We all know what's a quarter. 10.25 now on AMC, continuing the breakout. There was a dip buy. There was breakouts. You could have bought it off VWAP. A million ways you could have played this to the long side. I don't know that I'm going to see this Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong movie, but enough people have, and the recovery is on. You're seeing the result here in AMC, approaching 10% to the upside, and the market 1.5%. So it was basically all about the longs today. My shorts have been relegated to the small cap and weaker names, although NYSE is not a small company. I kind of wish I'd held on to some short. It did bounce. Like I expected it would bounce off 56. It just never got further than that 59. Now it's continuing to push on these lows. It is what it is. It's been weak all morning long. It was up 60%, now up 30 and still falling. NYSE. Brendo?
A little software maker here, Greenbox, which is GBOX. The ticker up significantly today. Nice move. 12.7%, all-time highs, in fact, for this GBOX, recent addition here, recent IPO. Apparently, they're in the crypto space. They also rang the bell at the New York Stock Exchange today, or the NASDAQ, I should say. But yeah, 1550 to 1575 here. Big levels for GBOX.
Here we go. And this is some game action. We call this one the Wiz, or Sean calls this one the Wiz. So why not the Wiz? I think of games for whatever reason. If you can figure that one out, good for you. But Roblox here, we showed you the iceberg order. We showed you this obvious level here. It's like you see on a minute chart, hold. Without even looking at level 2, experienced trader will tell you that's an iceberg. And now we're going to get out a couple of legs in front of that 70.50. I'll take even one more off just because there was like 140,000 shares on the offer. Now I want it all the way into the 71 range. So we're scalping this dollar range in Roblox. There's always the 71 you can play off of. There's another push to the upside. So laying this one out for you. And look, you could actually had it earlier. If I had noticed this earlier, I would have taken half of it and then reloaded and gotten more again. But just because you missed the first move, it doesn't mean you shouldn't take part in the second, which is exactly what we're doing here. And can't talk about the level 2 without showing you, oops, of course, once again, not flipping for me. There's AMC. It just broke 1030. There was some size on that offer. I've taken some out in front. I'll take more out in front of that 1050 as well. Playing the quarters and the scalp game on AMC to the upside.
Yeah, guys, and you want to talk about having some confidence. Look at it. This is what we're talking about right here on the sticky note. This is why you guys like it. There's AMC $10. So we talked about that when we talked about NEO holding 39. So we got to go back over and have a quick look to see if that's actually even happening. And then Palantir holding 24. Like, are you kidding me right now? How good a trade that's been. And there it is too, man. We're come flying in, man. Spin the money one more time for us here as Roblox there. A beautiful 70-cent win on half. Now we'll wait for the other half. We'll wait for that 71.25. Whether or not that comes in or not, we'll see. That'll be a huge win. If it does, we'll take that dollar. There it is right there, 71.15 or so. I still think we could test the highs. Let's just see if NASDAQ keeps on going. But there's a winner chicken dinner for you guys as well. PaySafe, okay. So it's actually going to the downside. I love this stock. I have absolutely no problems. This is one of my bigger calls that I'm here to stick my neck out for you guys. A new stock here. I like PaySafe. I like Skrill. I like NetTeller. They're all the same company. Let's see if PaySafe can't get going here. I wrote down on the sheet here, 1550. That was the high, and we're not anywhere near there. So we're going to wait to see what happens at 15. And right now it's basing down a little bit. Flat on the day. Look, I mean, a recent stock. We're not expecting this thing to go too crazy, but still nice if it does. AMC, you want to talk about doing something here? We'll run the money bags on AMC. We're still long 970 downside right now. So that's been a big win for us, and we'll keep on watching that as it's breaking higher and higher and higher now. If you want to get some longer levels, I've talked about it being fair valued now. I thought fair value was between 6 and 7, but now, like Neil's mentioned a lot, and like we keep doing, because it's necessary, movies are back and people are back to support them, right? And so as long as that's going to be the case, whether or not you believe it or not, AMC will move on this news. So there it is, man. AMC up to 1050 and still rocking here, Brendan.
I was reading that story a little bit more in depth, and it actually said that number came from both the US and Canada. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not aware of anywhere in this country where you can go to a movie theater. But just saying. Real quick, Win, guys. We were talking about MGM with an upgrade. Just saw Win also. Morgan Stanley with a price target increase.
So I'm trying it again. This is round number 2 for Neo. It broke that 40 even. I got 40.01, so as usual, you don't get any slippage around here on that stock. Look, I'm not going to give it to low of the day. I don't think 50 cents makes sense. I'll give it back to that 75 range. Try to take those paper cuts. If I'm going to be down on the stock today, I really don't mind if it's going to be Neo because I think the upside is going to be there on that particular name. It remains to be seen. CMI still rounding off that 5 even, so still no breakout trade just yet. I do want to come back over to UXIN just to recap. This one dying that slow death. So we're going to hang on to this short 165, the next level that has to break. It bounced off my order once before. If it bounces a second time, I will take some profit off. I'm not going to look. If we're short up at 190, I'm not going to sit here and fail to take off more shares. If 165 is going to be the bottom, then so be it. I don't want to fight that one too hard. NIO, I hate your guts, but hold that 375 and we'll be okay. I did want to come back over to because I don't know. And there's been fantastic trades today. But we did talk. We sort of opened the show talking a little bit about the cruise ships here, and then basically no trades. I was looking at NCLH, never got an execution there. CCL showing some strength, so kind of like these ideas to the long side, just couldn't find our way in, and it's going to happen to you. They're on the watch list. We talked about them, gave out some levels, but if there's better trades to be had, take the better trades. You don't have to trade every single thing that looks good, although. Obviously, he took these ones long. It'd be fantastic as well. I'm watching 28 even. If this does not get held, the market is still screaming upside. CCL still below those lows. If there is a turn to be had, I'm going to check back in maybe closer to lunchtime. But I'm looking at this 28 breakdown on CCL. It's held once. If we hold here and consolidate around, before 11 o'clock, could get a nice little scalp breakdown on CCL. 28, the key level to hold.
All right, I see you, Roblox. Now you're 85 cents in the money and still ripping up. So let's see if it wants to take that out. A quick check here on BTC. Bitcoin with a nice little move upside. So maybe if you're trading Mara or Riot or SOS or any of those names, GBTC, BTCC.B as well. Those are names that we like for that trade. But there goes AMC looking like, we just had that talk about why we thought AMC had some potential, guys. So here we go again, coming through 1040, 1050. Just watch out for those high side levels, man. The even pennies are good ones. So that's 1050, 1025 and so on. So we're going to continue to look to see if we can't do any damage up there. I think that's a good out for us, would be around that 1050. So that's a marker that I am definitely looking out for. 1050 to finish off on the AMC trade. If we're lucky enough to get that, we will take it. And then Roblox right there resisting this 71. So may just take this out right here and then see if it goes higher. We'll punch into that name as well on the high side if it does break that 71 and a quarter. But a good little opportunity here to take some off on Roblox, guys, as it's just having a problem with 71. Let's see. I might give this another second here. Let's see if it wants to break 71. And if it does, then we'll, upside more coming here for Roblox, I think, especially if we do hit that. There's some size there. It's only 2.6 million, so we'll see if it can go on the day. This, through about 100,000, including deep prints, probably a little bit more than that, but we'll see if it can break through Roblox here at 71s.
Yeah, that's going to be a key level. I got out in front of it, as I mentioned to you guys, and I like the break as well, but the next trade is very, very likely to be. Look, it looks very strong. I said 70 was going to be strong. Look at it bouncing off here. You're getting an increase in volume, starting to spike up. I'm no longer taking a 540, 550 short. Just a little bit of a push off this level. And if it breaks a high, I'd much rather be taking short that we had before in front of that high of the day. So I'm going to give it some room. I don't want this stock to turn negative. I would short it off VWAP if I didn't identify it as relatively strong in the pre-market. When I have one of those, I've gotten burned getting in too early on a move like this. I can always take the 5 even break, which is in play. So it's either 5 even break or short off of the high of the day in CEMI. Brendo?
As we have to remind you real quick, coming up after the show, do not forget, members, come join us after the show for a Q&A. You'll get us for about 45 minutes. We'll answer all questions we possibly can within that time frame. Anything on the table, respectively, obviously. When it comes to trading, Arun's going to stop by as well. So make sure you join us at 11:35, coming up right after the show. Valeria, let's check in on the likes. We also have a big number coming on YouTube we have to talk about as well, guys. We're so close to 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, hit subscribe. Valeria, what else?
Hey Brandon, yes, European markets closed for holidays, so instead I'm asking you to like this video. Team, we really need your support. We have 7,000 viewers and not even 2,000 likes. So please spend just 1 second of your time and make sure to like this video. And you're absolutely right, Brandon. We're away just around 2,000 from getting 200,000 of subscribers. And Brandon, what are we going to do? How are we going to celebrate when we get there?
I don't think there's a shot right now, but it's right beside me on my left right now. There's a bottle waiting for us. So please, yeah, help us out, guys. It would mean ever so much to us if you just hit subscribe and like, guys.
It means much to us because we're thirsty. We're thirsty around. It's hard. It is hard work. Obviously, look, we're talking, we're trading. The market is strong to the upside here. So, I mean, you pick out some of these longs, hang on to them and get your upside profits, and then don't give up on the ones that aren't working out as well. We didn't give up on NIO here, guys, and finally, we get a bit of a push. So we'll go 1 for 2. Well, I shouldn't say that because we're not out of the position yet. We'll try to go 1 for 2 on NEO. We got the 40 break finally. It broke through VWAP. We took some shares out in the teens. I'll take some out in front of the quarters, all the way up to this like 40.65. This is where we pushed off of the first time 40 held. We're looking at other things at that particular time. Don't mind because NOx was pretty good. But if it gets back up there, I'll have all out except for about 10 to 15%. See if that can't press higher as the market continues to just be so super strong. You only want these long positions in, only UXI and to the short side. Today, I am not trading that ACY. It's on the Amex, right? To be perfectly honest, I just don't see a reason to dabble. There's been so many other good stocks to trade today. A lot of times I'd be looking for the short, and yes, okay, there would have been a couple shots off 16. I don't know if the risk reward is there. There's been so many other better day trades in this day, even in the small cap space. There's been safer names to jump into. I know you look at the potential upside, and yeah, could it scream and give you those double ups and triple ups? Fair enough, but you can lose just as much. And liquidity still, even though it does 13 million, still questionable as I flip to level 2 here so you guys can see. Still questionable on the liquidity front, even though the volume is there. That's why it keeps halting over and over and over again. To me, this thing is going to come down. It's just a matter of time. But still hanging out in those highs, and it's had 4 halts, or check that, 5 halts on the session today. This could be more of an afternoon type of trade when some of these better opportunities start to abate a little bit.
Okay, guys. Yeah, just looking here. I'm playing the other way here on NEO short. We'll see if it does take out this 40.25. Then we'll get out around 40.30 or so. But right now, I'm looking for a spot to get short on NEO. So we're going to go short now on this name and see if it can cash us in on the downside. No, I mean, look. I love this name for the long. I've really made a lot of money going long NEO in the past. So we tried it out there, missed it. But the market, man, like wowzers, right back to where we were. Like Facebook 307, like this is the high. We played this one like a fiddle, man. 302 first long, out for the dollar in a minute. Then long on the 304 break. And then, I mean, we let that thing go all the way to 307. Most of our outs here, 305, 305, and then 305.50. But yeah, damn it, should have held on to that one if we actually believed in it. We would have still been in that one a little bit longer. But here we go. NEO, okay, I actually just did it touch that? No, it didn't. I was wondering if NEO touched 40 there, but it did not. Let's put another bid here at 40.09. We'll see if we can just take a little bit off. We do have VWAP right here at 07, so put some money in our pocket here. If it does touch down, it may not. And if it doesn't, then that's fine. We'll wait for 40 after that, and then maybe even 39.85. But again, no idea if this prints downside or not, but it's right at that VWAP. So we're sort of at a decision-making time here for NIO. There it is. So we'll take off a little bit, man. We'll celebrate 7 cents. It's not going to be a good one, but NEO's spicy, as always, here as we go. So NEO right now back to the downside. Now it's 10 cents or so in the money, but we are looking for more on that one. And Microsoft, just to touch back on that name, we did like this name, and I talked about taking the short through this 248. It does go well, actually it was up here, 248, 248.50. If the market does give it up, though, this is at all-time highs, just like its friend Facebook. So all-time highs for Microsoft, all-time highs for Facebook. Check back in on Apple right now, as the NASDAQ is rocking today, up another 1.54%. All-time high for Apple, I think, is around 140-ish. Let's double check. Yeah, 144. Right. So we're nowhere near. So if you want to get the laggard, man, trade some Apple, guys.
If you it's not that much. It's not that bad of a laggard, but there are some laggards in the market. Oh God. Now I'm mispronouncing that word. I'll get it right the next time through, not here. Someone just asked, it's Nick Dubs here asking about U.S. Steel. No problems. Look, this was a name. Look, I love U.S. Steel. I own it. It is what it is. We've talked about 10 breaks. We've talked about 17 breaks, 20 breaks. Mentioned that it could be profit-taking time and it could be a little bit of a dip. You're seeing some relative weakness. It was up 2% on the session with a bit of this tech rally coming in. Looking at this 25.40. I mean, look, it's obvious because you see the pre-market consolidation at that level. You pull back, bounce once off here. If you break here again, if I hadn't already trimmed some, I would certainly be thinking of taking profit through that 25-40 area on U.S. steel. So you look to see if we do get a market turnaround, what are some of the high-flying names that could come back in? Looked at the 28 level on CCL, looking at this 25-40 level here on U.S. steel as well. Palantir, I talked about buying the dip, and there you go. There's a flip. It comes back into VWAP. This did give us to that 24.50 area, so it's basically rinse and repeat. The only difference is it's not 24. It's buying in front of VWAP. I said it would be those teens, tens to teens. I end up with 24.11, patiently waiting for it. I'll give that to like a couple of wicks before 24 even. I was giving it to 23.85 before. That was a 24.03 long. I'll give this to about like 23, like 95 or so. So give it like 15 to 20 cents tops, and then work the scalp trade all the way back into that 24.50. So quarters and 50 still going to be in play. Buying the bounces on Palantir. Buying the bounces where we know the stocks have been the best, right? Like I'm not buying bounces in U.S. Steel because I don't think the momentum is in that name. I'm not looking to buy the bounce in CCL. I'm looking to break the 28s to the downside. Sometimes having stocks you prefer to go long and prefer to go short in, relatively speaking, so you have action on both ends depending on what the market does. I like the approach, so I'm sticking with AMC and Palantir for the buy and the dip. If we break this 95, then our third trade will have been a losing trade on Palantir, but that's why we like taking profits on the way up.
Yep, and for sure. And look, I didn't get into that one. I'm just watching this NEO trade. It does go down to 97. We were actually bidding 95s. Okay, here it comes. Oh, there it is. Oh, we got filled at 97. Okay, we switched our bid. We were bidding 95s. It went to 97. We take that fill. So now this is 20 cents in the money. Look, we talked about this. I said I was waiting for a stock that I knew was weak to finally go short. So it comes right up there, a nice little move. We waited very, very patiently, and now we cash in on that short. So a nice little move to the downside now for NEO. Still gonna be a negative stock for me, but we just did cash out that 20 cents or 18 cents there on that part. So now we're light, man. And even if this takes out the top, this will be a winning trade for us. Roblox, man, wow, resisted. We talked about that at 71 right here, and it resisted that opportunity. Now it's falling all the way back down. Well, not really. We're still 50 cents in the money.
Oh, shoot.
Give it to him, Brendo.
Still have that stock.
Hey guys, yeah, sector time. Let's have a look at the S&P 500, see what is leading the way so far. Very positive right across the board overall, 1.25% now to the upside. It's all about travel names, really. We'll start with the automakers here in the consumer discretionary group. Tesla, GM, Ford, all 3 to 5%. In positive territory. Tesla with that deliveries number helping them. Here's all the airlines. If we jump down to the industrials group here, all of the airlines up anywhere from looks like 3-ish to 4.5% for those. So a nice look for this entire group. In fact, if I switch over this way, you can see here's Boeing as well, 2.8% PWR, JCI, all in this same group, leading the way as far as gainers are concerned. I mentioned the automakers. Here's NCLH, CCL, RCL, Caesars, MGM, and Wynn leading the way in the consumer discretionary names to the upside as well. The only real one offsetting here, Etsy, 4% downside. Domino's there as well, 1.4% to the downside, but nice positive day overall for consumer discretionary stocks. Weakness coming from the energy group today. A bit of a pullback for oil as we saw. So all of these names have been on a bit of a run over the past couple of weeks. Moving to the downside today. Material stocks also higher. FCX, I saw CLF in here a little while ago, but looks like it's come back a bit. Consumer staples also having a nice day. You can see there's Walmart, 2.5%, LW, CPW, TAP, to name a few, all 1+%. Utility stocks also in positive territory. And the healthcare names also in positive territory. It's one of those days, 1.3% for the overall market. Back over to you.
Yeah, done as well, obviously there. Okay, yeah, Palantir missed that one because there was a reload there. I know Neil got that, so that's good. Okay, NEO, we just cashed it out, man. I mean, look at that trade, right downside, 85. So we'll go hell yeah and do a Superman trade here on NEO. We waited, we saw that it was weak, man. We know this name has been weak today. Obviously, the bottom's there, 39. We put it on our sticky note. You can find that on my Twitter as well. Holding the 39 level, and that looks like that's where is it? There it is at the very where my finger is. 39 hold. That's kind of what it did, but it held 39.50. So again, 20, 40, 60, 80% all done. So now we'll wait to see what happens with NEO, and we'll just take along if it finally gets back up there and breaks higher. So make the money on the way down, and let's make the money on the way back up. That's how we're doing it with the cash cow. That is NEO. Although today, it's my only negative stock, guys, NIO. So we'll wait to see what that's doing. Okay, this one right back to 50. I think this is a good spot to get out, man. Let's put an order right now on AMC, see if we can get out on the high side of 1046 right now. And this is what I mean by high side. You got low side was the bid, high side should be the ask, and we'll wait to see if it prints us. We're on a inverted gateway, meaning that we will pay to get the fill because we're going to make that 1 penny rather than punching out here at 1045. And then if it breaks 1050, so be it. This is a 75-cent winner, guys, on a $10 name. So we're going to take that every day now, that especially because it was topped out here at 1043, and now it looks like we're kind of topped out again. So whether or not I get this 46 or not, there it is, almost irrelevant. But there we go. The big hitter's back in the building with AMC, and there it is. Turns positive, and now let's just see where it goes from here. But AMC, just a moonshot today. Just as we said, man, it's on our list at $10. So there's the first $10 break. We get some out at 1014, 1015, just like we said we would. We let it drop. We get greedy. We pick up our big position here at 970, and then just unload it up there for a nice win there on AMC. And there goes NEO, man. It tried to make its way back up and failed again. So now I'm going to look to see lows, man. Like, what about 39.70 or so? Let's put a bid right there for NEO and see if we get picked up there for, once again, guys, just another win. It's barbecue profit time to go with. I think we're having burgers tonight. We'll see. Got to drive my kid back to Waterloo.
Oh, the Lou, that's my alma mater. But we'll take the wins here. We're showing you both directions, and that's the thing. There was a 40 break on NEO, able to get some in front of those teens, tried to get some in front of the quarters. I then had a dip in front of my my out at that 85, like 85-ish, like 80 to 85 area. I do pick up that 85, and we get some out in front of those 40s. So I still have some offers out there. And this is the thing about NIO: 26 million shares in volume. When it starts to slow down a little bit, there are scalp trades usually in both directions, guys. So it is. You'll see me probably do more a lot of counter trend trading. I shouldn't say always, but it is in a downward trend. So I always have to have a hard stop each time. I don't love my initial entry on this first long defense, right? So you get an opening range of a bottom at 40 even. When I'm playing that dip buy and giving it to that low of the day at 39.90, I should only have bought in front of 40 even. I shouldn't have started that one at 40.20. I got impatient. And I got impatient because Palantir and AMC were both going, and I thought NEO was going to be another one as well. This long, tighter stop, definitely a little bit more discipline. That's what you have to do, guys. You have to adjust. You have to stick to your guns, guys, and stick to your rules. Speaking of Palantir, I don't always trade this particular name, but every now and then when it sort of shows you a level like that, 24 even, it's worth playing off of. This time it wasn't 24, it was a bounce off VWAP. It gets to those quarters that we talked about, so we'll go ahead and take the winner there. We'll give the fist bump. Because we're social distancing, because obviously we haven't been vaccinated. That won't happen anytime soon, Chuck.
No, I will. I think I should be getting mine this week.
Say what?
Yep. Toronto, baby.
Okay, first of all,
so
you know what I think of. Okay, you know what? We'll talk about. You know how it rolls. But I think we're not getting ours for a little bit. And I think we should have been next. But anyways.
Here we go, guys. Yeah, Superman. I'm excited. I hope we can get it, man. And then my parents go today. Well, one's today, one's later on in the week. They're gonna get theirs, and then hopefully, I can get mine. But I mean, again, we should be okay. It's more just so I can see my family with a little more confidence than we have right now. But yeah, we're hoping end of the week. So a shout out to the city of Toronto getting people vaccinated ASAP. Neil's still in B-Town. Where Brampton, where we're all.
I've heard of some stories of people getting it that shouldn't be getting it, but I don't want to get too far. I don't want to.
No. I'm talking about really getting it.
No, I know you guys really getting it, but the only people in Brampton getting it my age are doing it the wrong way. I'm not narking on anybody. I'm just saying it's happening.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. But anyways, for now, we're going to wait to see. I mean, hopefully things can get reopened. And I just feel, big shout out to Cactus Club. Thanks for taking care on Friday night again. That was huge. Thank you to Paul and all the guys in the front, or in the back, and then Andre in the front as well. Fantastic. Shout out to our waitress Hannah as well. It was a fantastic evening. Thank you so much to Cactus Club. And that's really where I feel, this world needs to get going back again, man. That was so much fun to finally go out again and see everybody. Then all the work that gets put in by these places, the employees need to get rewarded, man. So we need to be able to open back up and then have fun times once again. Okay, so NEO still on its way down. We're still waiting for down here, guys. We did get out, a nice out off this short. If you're joining us for the first time, purple is what it's all about. So purple gets us the short, and then all these greens, I was gonna say blue, like as if that's blue. All of these greens are getting out of this initial short. So if you do see it on the board, that's what we have on. And then the other short here, look at this stock, guys. Like, you want to talk about really running the money bags here. E-bond through 750. And again, I don't have a problem telling you this. It was, if you rewind it, I think I got this position, what time was this, 9 o'clock? I said, this is the short, this is a no, I talked about it being a no-brainer short when we were up here, guys, 770. You know, and I said, if this prints to be 750, it's a no-brainer short. And there it is, man, plus 10% or more than that in the money now on this name. So thank God we got E-bond code word today. Get ready for this one, guys. Valeria. You like that code word, Valeria? Caught her off guard there. But that's the code word today, guys. Tweet that at me and I'll retweet it. Valeria is the code word today.
Sweet.
Oh, well, thank you, Valeria. Okay, there we go. I wasn't expecting that one. But okay, exciting day for us today. We'll go, that's the code word. We're watching E-bond. I put an out at 710, I guess, but I don't have to worry about that. Let's just let this one fade out, guys. E-bond.
Yeah, and gonna go back to two names. One, should have kept in that original price target. NOx goes all the way to 50. I know Brendel talked about this, and look, we like the weakness in this particular name. I'm staying away from ACY. You remember what happened there. And I also told you guys not to going to sell into the push on CEMI. Now, normally I'd be getting back into this one off of VWAP. But I said it showed some relative strength, so I patiently wait for it to break VWAP. I thought we'd get a test at that high a day and get in like a 570. So that's what I'm holding out for. And at the end of the day, you got to stick to your rules. I broke a big one on ACY, and I just want to remind you guys, I broke a big one yesterday. And today, you're not going to do it. It basically almost gave you the same trap, where a fantastic short in ACY would have been off of $11 in the pre-market. Then right at 9:30, it opens up and halts, and if you short it into that level, you're caught in a halt. That's exactly what happened to me on, I kept saying Friday, on Thursday. Then it reopens, and whether you get out at the next halt price, $2 loser, or you get really lucky and get out close to flat. Either way, I took a hit yesterday. I took a hit on Thursday breaking that rule. That's why I stayed away, far away from it. I still think it's going to be a better trade for the afternoon when it starts to calm down a little bit. ACY, very thinly traded. With these names, we always preach, if you're fortunate enough to be in a long in something like this, and it gives you those 40, 50, 60% moves, no need to try to turn it into 100 or 200% because they can come down really hard and really fast, guys. So take your profit when it's there, and you almost can't go wrong. It's not like trading in AMC where there's basically unlimited liquidity. Unlimited. 30 million shares of volume. I just got some more shares out in front of that 1050. It does feel like the market's trying to turn here, and if it rolls over, I don't want to have taken, I don't want to sit here and have not taken profit off. At 1050 is such an obvious sort of psychological level. After 10 goes, you get that 25 cents, 50 cents. So I'm going to get all out in front of 50s, knowing that 50 is a break price for me. You now have just below VWAP, you have 10 even for a bit of a dip buy. Now Palantir's giving you that dip buy. AMC's so strong, it's not even giving you a shot. I do think that's probably going to have a shot to happen here. So throwing an offer in front of the 50 for like 45, 46, I'll take 1050 as a breakout. Probably for less than we liked those dip buys down at 975. And then I'll pick some shares back up if we can hold VWAP. And then I'm going to throw you to Brendan for Money Talks. Let's go 60K.
Hey guys, yeah, it's currency time, excuse me. We'll have a look at what's moving around here as far as currencies are concerned today. Overall, US dollar weakness has a lot of things moving higher right across the board. Outside of the Japanese yen, Swiss franc, a little bit of volatility coming off as well from equities. Euro up 0.35%. The CAD, back to 79.8. Up 0.4%, I should say. British pound about 0.5% to the upside overall. Australia and New Zealand also nicely higher. Cryptos all nicely higher. 21.49. I checked out all-time highs for Ethereum. So we're closing in on that. 21.09 right now. Look at Ripple, 20%.
Oh, hell yeah.
For Ripple to the upside. We just tagged 74 cents up there, guys. Ripple leading for cryptos today. Back to you.
Again, like if you're joining the show for fun, to have a good time, that's great. We are also as well. But that Ripple, man, I bought that thing at 30 cents and told you that we bought it at 30 cents. And that's an absolute beast. I'm a little disappointed here because Cardano just continues to, again, we're long, sub 20 cents, but $1.20 right now. And look at Cardano, man, just can't get out of its own way right now. It looks like it's bouncing here. We did, shout out to Shakib, who bought it on recommendation down here when it dipped down to 1 again. It only got as low as 103, but that was a good opportunity. Up now to 120 and change. Cardano, I think, sees a huge future, but I'm not going to make any predictions on that one because crypto, guys, I don't want people to get caught up. Stocks, I have a little bit of an easier time with just because they make more sense. And, a lot of these crypto names just going to go based on where this world goes as far as what we think about crypto. So a good trade there for sure. EBON still moving, man. Our NEO just continues to be a money bag on the short, but it's basing out. I know Neil is looking at this as well. We're both kind of the other way, but right now it's not doing a hell of a lot.
I got punked, man.
We're going to wait on that one. Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting anything out till 40.20. You got punked. What happened?
No, look, it is what it is. We'll keep it real around here, and I actually was about to go back to this, but I just got into AMAT, so I was going to get to that and then talk about its NEO. And I said it. I told you guys I was giving it to like 30, 39, 80 area. Yeah, I put my stop in a little bit shy of that. It was mostly a keystroke error, and by the time I realized that I had gotten out at this little bottom, it was already basing back up towards 40. So I want to make sure we're not just, like I got in on this little dip at 39.85, and as it pushed back up and then failed at 40 even, I'm like, okay, I'll put in a stop just below 85. I didn't mean break even. I put it in at break even. That's a pure accident. So unless I can get those 85s again and give it to like that 80 to 75, I don't like the trade. Especially when it can't break through VWAP. It was a nice little dip buy, but I kind of bungled that one a little bit. So as much as it would have been a winning trade for you if you hung on to it, I didn't, unfortunately. Miss V.
Hey guys, Tesla is indeed one of the most popular names on the chat. Stock is up more than 5%, and Show, I know you even have a poll on Twitter about Tesla.
Sorry, I was busy typing something else. Okay, yeah, we did talk about Tesla on Twitter. I haven't really tweeted anything out about it. My levels today... about Tesla? Yeah, I haven't Neil traded it today.
I traded today.
Here we go. 714 to 680 was the levels here on Tesla. So if we look today at 714, that was the high, and I wasn't playing it for short. So I don't have any real love here for Tesla today. I was playing it if it did break out. Neil mentioned that he didn't like the breakout up there. It didn't happen. So neither one of us got tested at that 714. I think it was a great short into 714. That would have made more sense. But right now, man, I mean, it's up that 4.5%. It was up 7 or 8% this morning, and we're just kind of hovering around. Like we got back to 6. The interesting thing for me right here is VWAP is at 700. So if you're looking to do anything right here, you have a 702 break that I can stamp. I would rather stamp 705 for the long, and I'm still going to hold out on 680 bottom. But Neil was the one that was in it, so I apologize if you're. I don't think you're still in it. But.
No, I mean, like I can show you guys the idea behind the trade, because if you go back into the 30, this is when it actually made that push to 600. I talked about this. You have the 595 level. It breaks the bottom, goes down like $5, and then snaps right back in there, and you take the long break, and that's the look that you would have gotten in Tesla. And then it did something somewhat similar in a rollover today, where it broke It basically broke that 700 level. And let's go to the 1-minute chart so you can see a little bit more clean. Let's zoom, and then we get a look here. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. But then it broke through 700, goes that $5. I'm like, okay, there's that same thing, holds the $5 lower. Let's take a 700 break, stalls at VWAP, and then I just throw a tight stop. Once the stop is in, I'm like, oh boy, this is not going. I've seen this party before on Tesla when you're the wrong way. And I just walked away from it. I tried the dip buy in NEO to some muted success. Of course, first time we lost, second time it won. Tesla, there just never was even a setup after that for me. And I'll like it, like we said, I'll like it at 680 if it gets down there today. It just hasn't happened yet. So I believe patience is a virtue. I was patient in AMAT for it to come back down, apply materials a second time and retest that level. 141.50. I picked some shares up in front of the current low. Current low of the day is at 141.70. I'm not going to get out on a stock which has 10, 20% ranges at the actual low of the day. I'll wait till like at 141.50. But I am now long aim at 142.18. I'll give it to that 50 mark, 141.50 that is, and see if we can't catch a bit of a bounce. You have to watch out. I mean, the market up 1.5% on the NASDAQ, but showing some signs it wants to retake 13.5 after such a healthy gain. It's a nice little bottom pick. I like AMAT. We liked it last week, but you did fail to push into 150 there, so it's showing some cracks. I love the risk to reward here, though. You risk 50 to 60 pennies, maybe a tad more than that. You get to VWAP, and you're talking, over $1 on that trade. So 1.5 to 1 at VWAP, and into this chop range here, you're talking about 3 to 1 risk to reward. So you get out at those two levels, overall about a 2 to 2.5 risk to reward as long as the market continue to stay on its highs. It's been so strong. AMAT's only 0.7% to the upside.
Okay, guys, so I kind of got in shit from Valeria here because, I had to apologize to her. Although I listened to most things she says, I definitely was not, I didn't even hear the word poll or anything. I just heard trading Tesla. But right now, guys, this is the poll that we have up. And if you guys want to, Valeria, if you could put the link, actually, I can do it. Okay, Valeria will do it. I'll put the link there in the chat for the poll. 78% of you right now think that Tesla does at some point hit. So right now we're at 695 hit to $1,000 a share at some point in the next 8 months. So let's see. I mean, if we really do believe that, man, then I mean, you should. Like, if you hit yes to this, I don't say I disagree. Whoa,
you should have bought in front of 600 then.
No, not just that. I mean, why not just get an option right now for $1,000? Like if you, this is the thing. This is.
But you got to time it. This is the poll. I know what you're getting.
What I'm saying is that just figure out when you think it's hitting 1,000, guys. And then if it's going to happen at any point, just buy a December 31st call for $1,000. Just buy it now. If you do think that. I'm not saying it's going up there or not. Do I think it hits that? Yes, I think it hits that easily. Neil with the 53% chance. I'm going to give this like a 75% chance that we get upside here. So I'm well invested in Tesla. However, I do think that we could get a bottoming happening during the next earnings season. So I'm going to wait to see, and then we'll see how it reacts in the summertime. But yeah, I'm pretty confident. But sorry, Valeria, about that. That was my brain fart there that we did have. Roblox, next time it comes up here, we have to get out. And again, if you want to follow us on Twitter, my sticky note, okay, thanks guys. It's 7125 there on Roblox. Like, can it get any better? 7125, 7125, 7125. Like, it's been up there 3 times and stopped every single time and reversed. So we pegged this number to the penny, basically. So that's where we got to get out, man. We got to get out a little bit ahead of that. 71.20, 71.15. Let's do that. But hey, man, we're doing the work. I'm doing the work for you guys. The sticky note gets requested, and there it is. It has AMC break of 10. It has this Roblox level, which couldn't be more key. And then we can look back at DraftKings. Neo holding 39 was an idea. Oh, hell yeah, for Neo right now. Neo getting unplugged right now. 50 cents in the money for Neo. Let's put a bid out here, clean this one up and get out of this one. 39.70. Let's take some profit on Neo as that one puts us a little bit back. Still down in it. Only one red stock today. 7 or 8 positive ones, 1 red one. We'll take it, but let's clean up some Neo.
Yeah, and just clean up the last pound here. I did say it was going to be true that the last trade was likely to be a dip buy and then we'd lose on the last one. So it's actually only going to be the second half of our third long entry in Palantir. Starting to slide back in. That's what we talked about. Now, I'm going to be left with AMAT, which was already off of those lows. I'd rather pick something up in front of bottom end support if I'm going to at this particular time of day, guys. And speaking of that time of day, I just want to remind everybody, we have our members only Q&A coming up. It's right after the show. We got Arun coming on. I don't know if obviously you can ask him what your thoughts about the new shirt or ask him about the futures. Probably a better idea when the market's moving. But we'll all be there, the entire team, answering your questions. Get in. Have your questions ready to go. It's a lot of fun. We line up basically everything we can. We get to as many as possible. Just a little bit of a way that we can give back to you guys. I've decided to give the membership in there. Another way that we can give back, of course, we talk about all the trades, winners, losers, entries, exits, all that good stuff. A little bit of greed, maybe? I don't know. I talked about the 3 legs out in three areas I wanted to get out and aim at. We approached this one here at 142. Now, I could have taken some off when I saw it roll over. I saw it turn at 142.80. I had a chance to maybe take some out for like a 50 to 60 cent win instead of like 80, 90 to $1. Probably should have gone ahead and done that. And if it holds this bottom, I'll take the 50 cent win the next time upside and then maybe roll back into some more shares. The market's starting to look weak here as we roll over, and the bottom pick on AMAT not quite as good as it looked a couple of seconds ago. The only short I have left on is that UXIN, and I was patient in CEMI. It didn't quite get there. Now, it touched 570. I wanted it to actually test this pre-market high before getting back in, so it was a right call not to get in at VWAP, but I was just a little bit too patient up here at the top end. And this is a time of day where I'm going to give things a little bit more room, make sure you get that good price. If I'm giving it to 6 even, it matters whether I short at 575, start the position, and get an average price of 80 to 85, or get an average price of 75 to 80. Like, that matters to me, especially when you're coming down into VWAP here, and that's going to be one of your targets. But clearly the right call to wait patiently. If you get these where they hold an obvious pre-market level where there was support before, you've identified it as a strong stock, and then on volume makes a push off of those levels, do not make the first short if that's what your game plan is. Wait until it gives you the better price. Seen it time and time again. It's all about making those corrections when you notice those patterns.
Yeah, we dumped, damn it, Roblox. Like, so I'm pretty light right now, man. Like, we got out of everything. That AMC cash was cash. We got out at the high of the day. So, you know, I'm not going to hit anything. We've already hit a lot of things today. That was a good one. And NEO, we just got out, I think, at a great level there, 75. Whether or not it takes out the day's low or not, I'm not sure. We're going to wait on 39 before we start to get long. Been burned on that one. Oh, we just talked about EBON. Hello, EBON right now. Big move down. No idea where to get out of this one. Of course, not E-Hang, E-Bang, Brendan. What's up?
Just saw a note on Facebook here, guys. Apparently a data hack for Facebook, 300 accounts or so. Sorry, 500 million accounts possibly affected with that data hack there for Facebook. I was also going to mention Viacom. Just be careful with Viacom, guys. We were talking about the Archegos fallout from beginning of last week. Volume is a tenth of what it was during that free fall that we saw. So yes, it's down today, but via C, you can look at Discovery as well. The volume just not there today, guys.
All right, I guess we can look at that Facebook trade. I was just looking in the calendar here. Facebook, I mean, that's not affecting anything, I guess, but that is interesting news. I mean, you know, hack, data breach, all-time highs. Facebook continues to go up. I've been pumping this name for a while to you guys on the show, and here it goes, man. No matter what you think of privacy, throw it out the window because nobody gives two craps. Facebook just continues to march higher and higher and higher. I mean, this is what I've been saying the whole time. Like, Google's a huge property of mine as far as an investment. Now Facebook is as well. So is Microsoft. I actually want Capitol Hill to bring these guys up. Put them on. You know, look, break up Facebook. What do you want them to do? Spin off WhatsApp? Okay, that would be nice because then I'd just be back here with this pile of cash. Spin it off. Like, let's do that. Spin off Instagram. Fantastic. That'd be great as well. So I'm loving all of this talk. Here we go, 308. And look, I apologize if you guys don't like Facebook. I know that it's a very, you know, touchy-feely situation for a lot of people. But hey, look, it's changing lives, man. It's changing small business lives. It's changing the way we trade. It's changing the way we act as a society. Facebook deserves it. It's up 3% today and keeps on motoring higher and higher and higher, guys. Put your money into game changers, guys. Don't put your money into dead stocks. With that being said, let's check out what one of the oldest stocks in the world, General Electric, is doing right now. It's looking to break through 350. 1350. I almost put this on the watch on my own personal watch list today, otherwise known as the sticky note, because we were getting higher and higher again. Here's the daily chart here. You can see 1350 is these levels, but I'm not super interested until we get back to 14. So I just want to touch on that. We've been trading GE a lot, but right now it's kind of barcoding between 12. I love that barcoding between 1250 and 1350. So it's got to break out. Although we're at 1350 now, I'd like to see it go a little higher. The high of the day, 1355. That may be worth taking out if we get to 1355. But only 25 minutes left in the show. Join us afterwards for our Q&A.
Absolutely. And we talked a little bit about GameStop. It was on the watch list because they finally had that offering. But, 185 finally starting to come and round out into shape. Now, if this 185 had happened a little bit earlier on in the session, like closer to 10 o'clock, I would have taken it on a spike into it. But when this happens at like 10, I like to see a bit of a rollover, a little bit of signs of weakness, a little more of a patient play here. But it's starting to get to that point where I'm going to play that trade. If I can get something in the 183 high into 184 and use that 185 stop, that's what I'm going to do with GameStop. I've waited all morning patiently for it. I said the first time that I shouldn't have looked a gift horse in the mouth, and that if we popped again and aim at, I'd see if I can get some shares out in front of 142.80, which I'll go ahead and do here if I can catch that like 50-cent win. I still like it if we can get through like 143, take some out on the north side of VWAP, and if the market makes another push here, aim at was sort of left behind as it got sold off on the open, and now you've put in a bit of a double bottom. So that's the reason behind that trade, and we talked about aim at possibly rolling over. I thought it would push up into 150 before it came down. That's why I didn't short it. but it is what it is. Either way, the market did come down to us there on that trade, and now the long is looking pretty good. Speaking of things that are making bottom moves, or moves towards the bottom, NNOX bouncing off 50 even. This is a risky play. This stock has come down $22 from pre-market highs. It was at 41. Give you an idea of what this looks like on the daily chart, though. Look, it did have some support off 35. The reason I like this 50 is to kind of go back to the last time it made this spike through, got to like a 58, and then for a couple of sessions in a row, 50 turned into a resistance point. So if we can hold 50, I like this for a bit of an afternoon type of bounce idea. So it was a short trade for me all the way on NNOX, but I would start to look at the long. I think it does give you an opportunity if you're sort of willing to risk like $2 to maybe get back into that 57, 58 range. Speaking of CMI, doesn't look like I'm going to get that short in front of 6. It doesn't like me that much. I guess the next trade is still going to have to be either the break of 5, or if we can consolidate down at like 525, I can start scalping it. And I'm a man of my word. We said we would do it, and the net goes up when you follow your plan. This time, I will not get greedy on AMAT. I don't know why that shows up as a short. That's me covering some shares for the 50-cent win. It's not the 75 to 80, but I have to pay attention to the fact it's been relatively weak, and it's stalled shy of that 143 mark the last time through. So like AMAT on that bottom pick, I'm going to keep my order through that 140, 150 to the downside. That's going to be my out. I still like it to get above VWAP if it can hold that low, and then 143.50 is going to be the target for the third of the shares. And if the market blows up, I like this one to about 145 on the even. I'm not going to hold it past that. I still think it has all kinds of trouble through the high of the day, and then even if it goes through that, I'm shorting at 150 on AMAT at some point.
Okay, yeah, what's up to, or hopefully the Baylor Bears can take it down tonight. What a great game that was with UCLA. I don't know if you saw it there, Neil, if you're in bed or what, but that was a great.
Suggs, baby.
Yeah, that was a great game there, and wow, tonight should be a good one, man. We'll see what happens.
I don't think Gonzaga stays undefeated on the season. That's all I'm going to say. Baylor's
Baylor's favored by 5.
Baylor's a handful, man. They're a handful.
Yeah, I got Baylor to win, so we'll see. Hopefully they can do that. The Final Four bracket was never as easy. Well, the Final 2, I guess, was never.
If you had
easy
UCLA,
in
yeah,
any
right.
year than this year. I mean, I think every single person probably had Baylor versus Gonzaga. So we'll wait to see. Hopefully that can come true for your boy today, and we're going to be cheering on the Baylor Bears. That was a fun game for sure. Yeah, Suggs hit that one. Suggs also like 4-star recruit athlete in football as well, but looks like he's going to be the 5-star, possibly number 1 pick there in the NBA draft. And hopefully our Raptors can continue to lose and then get closer and closer to that number 1 pick. Right now, 7th. Overall would be good for the Raptors. Okay, that's GE. Just talking about some of the trades that we have on right now. EBON not doing well. I mean, look, this has just been like the cash cow as EBON just keeps on going to the downside. We'll wait to see. Let's check back on Palantir. I mean, this is still my number 1 stock today. AMC just behind. Actually, Palantir, Facebook, AMC. Only read on one name today, and that is NEO. So we'll get to that in a minute. But there's Palantir. We didn't average in at all. I've traded this way too much. This one probably should have been taken, but that last one, you know, unless the market's ripping right now, I don't really love Palantir longs. So we get out of there right where we said we would, 23.90 out of our last one, and we have 0. Like, we're at the highest spot we've been at all day. So this was literally like, if you see this, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So there's our last 10% dropped off for a 10-cent hit. So when you go long at 05 and part of it you're getting out at 42, that's 40 cents on that. So you can even just wash those, go plus 30, and then just add all those up, right? So Palantir just continues to be quite the cash cow for us. I wanted to look at Square. Square, normally a mover. We checked out on PaySafe. I'll check that again soon. I don't think it's doing anything. PaySafe is going to have to wait until it has its first report before it does anything. But this is a weird one, man. The NASDAQ today up 1.56. Maybe Brendan can check on this, but Square today down 1.2%. Normally with the NASDAQ screaming, you're not going to see Square to the downside. So check PayPal. Is that down as well today? Which would make sense for PaySafe. No, that's flat. So we'll, more work to come, but we'll find out why Square is down. Okay, there we go. I'm just checking in on some of the banks. We're hella long bank names as well. That's working out for us big time. But Square, just to give you that level again, we'll check out. Maybe there's a downgrade, maybe there's something, but let's see if this 126 can hold. That looks like a pretty nice bottom there. It touched it early, just touched it again. So we'll find out. The NASDAQ rips that 226 on Square, looking mighty fine.
Yeah, it just feels like, from Brendan, their score lowered by UBS, and it feels like it's some different names in the tech that are leading the way here, guys. One of them isn't AMAT, I can be frank about that, but it's now testing, and this is why we got out some shares, took a third off in front of that 142.80, consolidating again below that level. So you pick up some relative weakness here, and you find a good level to go long, but make sure you take that profit. Candidly speaking, one of the reasons I got it all out of AMC in front of that 1050, which I mentioned to you guys, was to take a 1050 long break. I canceled that order when I got up and did not re-enter it. So that's going to be pie in my face because it's a very, very clean break at 1050. Even these little dips on the 1 minute here basically held. This is like 1051. So you get that break. This is AMC, so you're getting 51s or 52s in the absolute worst case scenario. And then you're never even out of the money, and it's already taking you like 20 pennies up to like 1070 as a fresh high. So it is what it is. I mean, it was good. It was good dip buying in AMC. It was good breakout at 1015. That only ever went against you like 5 pennies or so, not even really that. And this was just as good, but I'd cancel my order. Did not put it back in. 1050, fantastic. Are we headed to 11 today in AMC? I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I do look back to see what's going to be the key levels here. There was 1075 going into late last week. That'd be the 29th, and then from there, well through 11 even, through like 1175. So I almost think that 1075, which we're at right now, might prove to be a bit more resistance than that 11 even as we go into the lunchtime hour.
All right. Yeah, we're going to get ready, set up. If we are ready, Brendan, at any time, we'll get it ready. But we can do lunch money. We'll try to find a trade to pay you guys off a little bit here. And hopefully you can make a little bit of money with us here. Over the lunchtime hour, lunch money, generally a trade that we'll give to you guys based on, if you're trying to make something for lunch. So you want to make that quick 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 40 bucks, something like that. It's going to be called lunch money. Mine may be this square short here, but it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, the market's not doing a whole hell of a lot. Let's throw it over to Brendan. Is that what you got locked and loaded, buddy? There it is.
A money sandwich, yes. Yeah, everyone's favorite time of day. It's lunch money. Let's talk about 3 trade ideas, guys. Again, not trying to hit home runs, just trying to pay for lunch here. I'm going to talk about the overall market because on a day when it's as strong as it has been so far today, it's pretty hard to ignore. I mean, a couple ways you could look at this. This is the Qs, the NASDAQ ETF, for anyone wondering. 329.40, 329.30 was that last kind of pivot support area. So you could take this long right now and give it back to that pivot, or wait for a little bit of a pullback, see if we hold this kind of 329.25, 329.30 area, look for a long into day highs. So 2 ways to approach that. Take a long anywhere here. You got to give it to that 329, we'll say quarter support area, long on the overall market, guys.
Mine's going to be a short through 225 here on Square. Over to you, Neil.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to come back to, look, we talk about lunch money, the trade that I have on, the trade that I'm going to have on that I like here. From a risk to reward standpoint, I like it. I like the pickup. I like that 50 level. And I showed you on NNOX how tight it was to this like 50 area and just going back into last week. So I like turning resistance into support. It's been an awesome short. Look, we've only been short this particular name, but it just bounced off 50.35. Once I see it bounce off that 50 level that I like, it's like, and I said, as long as you get something which is not more than like that 52 entry point, guys. So I'm going to go along here at 51, just above 51.50. I said risking a couple of dollars, but it's all relative size shares. So use smaller shares in a stock like this, but pick up some shares in front of 50. My out is at 50 on NNOX. That's the downside, of course. Certainly you can take some off for like a nice little $2 scalp at 53, but the rest you want out in front of VWAP, like I mentioned, at 57. So a bit of a bottom pick here. We already have one in AMAT. I can't give you AMAT because we're already in that position. So I'll give you NNOX. I had talked about it before, but it actually just gave the entry at 51.50.
So let's do probably our best trade of the day here, because not only did I tell you that this was going to be a no-brainer short, we did take it and we cashed ourselves in, and I just got out now. Normally I'd wait for that 75 break, but I just want to put on the board. We're out. We're out of that 10%. I feel like that's just such a big move, man. EBON was up that 7 or 8 or 9% at one point. So now that it's coming all the way back to the downside, we're going to take that. We could have taken 61s, but it's like our last, it was 20% or so last. Okay, here we go. Square, we now are short. So let's see where this lunch money takes us. Square on the short side now. We don't want this to turn out to be coal, but we will get out. I mean, I'm going to give this one about $1 worth of risk here to the upside. We'll see if that can go. Let's see what it was doing in the pre-market. Really nothing. Again, if the NASDAQ falls, this thing will tumble down. So just because it's lunch money, I think you could take out half, like at 225.50. I think that makes sense, just to pay yourself. And then if you want to hold on to the other half, I think you could get lower, man. But it's all going to be dependent on this bad boy right here. And if it does go back above 227, then I think that that's going to have to be your kill spot. So here we go. Let's see if Square gives you a winner, or if you are going to be hungry just yet again another day. So 225.50 will be out. We'll pay ourselves, and then we'll get a little greedy and see what's on the bottom side of this Square trade, guys, for your lunch money.
And look, we got to cover what's moving here. And I talked about this 1050. It's going to be pie on my face, but AMC's still going. So pushes to 1175. I saw no offer there. Really, there was no size, anything like that. Pushing through now 11 even. I mean, I just showed you a little bit ago. I didn't really even see anything. If 11 doesn't have a level, the real level next upside is like 1175. So AMC's on the run. This is starting to get into that range of a move where I only want to play the short. To be perfectly honest with you. If you got that 1050, that's great, but I'm looking for a turn at this point. It's going to be hard not to when you get a parabolic move like this. We've had some good long trades on it. I was going to be looking at 1075, just nothing there. I would normally be all over an 11, but unless I see a monster offer, I'm not sure it's going to be anything until I'll go with this chop zone. I talked about 1175, but on the way down there was support that had to break at 1125. So that'll be the first look. 1125, we break 11 even, unless there's like a million shares on the offer at 11, in which case I'll just short 98.99.
All right, guys, I'm retweeting all those code word Valeria's. Good work on that one. That's over with now. Okay, let's wait to see now where we go, man. AMC, yeah, good call by that one, reviewing that, as that just keeps on going. And again, like the sticky note tells it all, guys, there's your AMC 10. If you want one or two trades, you just pick the best ones that you like on here, whether or not you like Palantir, whether or not you like that Roblox level, AMC, whatever. Oh, PaySafe. Let's check out on PaySafe. As here we go. Come on, Square. Are we going to get paid or not right now? We're sitting on that bid. Wow. It just ticked down to 50 to 60s. We're bidding 58s. So if this can come in, your boy's going to give you your lunch again today. So hopefully this comes through. 225.58 is our bid. Boom! Lunch is on me, boys. There you go again here. I don't know, Neil's, I guess, still waiting for that, but there it comes. Catch that pizza. Bang, there it is. I fed everyone there. So hopefully it's turning out for you there. Robbie likes that one. There's your lunch money trade. Hey, just another successful trade there. Look, I mean, you could save a little bit of money and just go to your kitchen, fry up some eggs, or hopefully now, courtesy, you can buy something a little more special there for your lunch. And there it is right there out. Let's see what the next half does. But hey, Brennan, good idea with lunch money, man. There's another successful one.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes those trades will, mine is basically sitting in the same range, right? So NNOX, it might make the move in half an hour, might make the move in 10 minutes, might make the move in an hour, guys. We gave you guys a look that we had on it. It was a short before. I like the long side off that 50. I said wait for a semi, and now comes in. Look, obviously, this was minutes away from maybe taking this kind of an idea, but I don't love the idea of giving you guys like a short in front of a high like this on a screaming stock for a lunch money trade, because it's a little bit more nuanced. I'm giving semi, and I mentioned here, not necessarily to this 590. And the reason I wait for the entry points here when it's at 75 is because I actually want to round into a short position off of 6 even, but I didn't want it at VWAP. I told you guys why. It finally makes this run at the high of the day. The only shorts I've had are right here at 72. This time it's at 73, and then this round out at about 525. Outside of that, I've stayed away from this stock. If it breaks 6 even, I will walk away from the short trades. No worse for the wear, guys, but do be careful when you're trading some of these, especially on volume when they pop at lunchtime. They can get a little bit hairy. The market looking relatively strong. That should be good for AMAT, but it's still only giving me that first 50 or 60 cents. I'm looking to see if it can't climb a buck or two off the bottom.
Just shouting out Paul here from Cactus Club. And again, thank you so much for that. You guys were fantastic. And it was great to meet you. Okay. I don't know. It's 11:20. We're getting close to the end of it. It's been fantastic. Join us. I have no idea. What number is it, guys, for the thing? Number 3, number 2? 3. Okay, coming up 3. It's Q&A time. So get ready for members Q&A coming up. Like, you'd think that we were just talking for 3 hours. Maybe we would take a break, but apparently not. 45 more minutes coming right at you guys with the Q&A. Ask us whatever you want. Ask us what I had there on Friday night, whatever you want. Join us. 11:35, it's Q&A time, guys. You have to be a member, so just pay attention for that link. Valeria's on the chat. We'll help you out if you did have any questions. Holy crap. Man, was that AMC $10 level some cash money today, guys, for us. Like, that was that initial break. And again, we put our money where our mouth is. All you had to do was hold that, and you're welcome to 10, 15%. If you did have my bottom pick as well, that's even better, man. 970, 975. This played out exactly as we put it on the board for you. So, I mean, I talked about taking that break, and if we rewind to when we start the show at 8:30, I talked exactly about this level. And if you look at it at a longer term chart, this is why. I mean, sometimes trading is easy and sometimes it's not. But for this one, you could see down here today, this was these levels, man. 10, this little wick down, 975. So we had some 975 levels. We also had bottoms there before we broke lower on, I guess that's now Thursday. So yeah, I love this little wick level. We protected it, and boom, to the upside goes AMC. Congratulations, anybody in that one. Again, off some of that rhetoric of the reopen trade. It's gonna keep on going for some of these stocks, and I've re-upped. I think the fair value for that stock is probably around 8 or 9 if you take away all the hoopla around AMC. So we'll see. GameStop, I don't have really an opinion on a fair value for that one, but I was a buyer of AMC at $2 for the reopen, not for the Wall Street bets. Let's check out Rocket though quickly. This is a stock that's really been doing absolutely nothing, man. We got some out, I think it was last Tuesday or Wednesday on the show. We talked about that when it went to 27 right here out of nowhere that day. That was a beautiful out. But right now, Rocket, man, we've already collected that dividend. It's been good. But we're just a buyer down here. I'll continue to be like 19, 20. But this one really hasn't performed. I thought off the bottom we would get not a Palantir. I mean, this was a crazy move, but like almost like a Palantir move where we started just to like drift higher like it was doing here. But right now, man, it's struggling to get out of its own way. So that's Rocket Companies down to $20 and now below that 50-period moving average, making me not super happy. But we were able to get some out. We got some out in the mid-30s. We didn't take them all out at the top. We even had options that we weren't able to get out. And then all of a sudden, we did get some out on that day. I think a fair price to get some out if it comes back, like 25, 50, 26. I know that's like 15, 20% from here, but we can do that on Rocket. So that's going to be my next target. Boeing still continues to rock, and wow, AMC just tearing upside here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I caught a bit of a turn here, and it's kind of like, I actually saw on level 2, like it just started to drive. It got really squeezy even a word? I don't know. But it got really squeezy to the upside there, and I just caught 11.15. But because it wasn't the level I love, I'm actually going break even stop. I'm not even giving this to the high of the day. It was more like just watching the tape on the offer start to like, okay, well, suddenly it's not looking as strong, not looking as strong. It just went parabolic. That didn't work if you had that same idea at about like 1090, but I never liked the 11 even. I did kind of like 1125, which is why I'll get 1115s into the short side here and see if we can't scalp it into 11. But as I can tell you, usually a turn like that would have already come back and given like 20 cents or so, and it can barely even give you a 10 here. So I'm going to take the bulk of this off and just take the quick 10-cent scalp. I'm not even sure AMC's done at this point. Even if it starts to flush back in, it might stall out at like a 1085, guys. So that's just my 2 cents. I could be absolutely wrong about that. Either way, it's going to be at this point, it can't be a losing trade because I have a break-even stop, and we've already taken a 15-cent winner. But it's the first time I've shorted AMC all morning long. I told you at this point I was going to look for the short end trade. If this same move at 11.15 I saw it happen at 11.25, which I was saying earlier, then I certainly would have dug in, certainly would have held longer. All those rules would have applied, but the turn just happened much, much quicker than I anticipated here. And oh, wowzers. I just got a glimpse of what National Day it is, and it's already making me hungry. You're killing me, Valeria. You're killing me. That's not even fair.
I see what it is.
It's not even fair.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one. It's okay. We'll see. We'll wait to see what happens. Okay, good short there. Let's check out on GameStop quickly for those of you guys watching this as well. Remember, tomorrow we do our late show, so you'll be able to see us live. I'm going to say that's coming up too. Let's see if I'm right. Watch list. Oh, yeah, get our watch list, guys. Okay, coming up, I'll do it again, guys. Coming up, number 1. Tomorrow, we're starting it, guys. Every day, we'll be here, 3:15 to 4 o'clock. Join us for the close. Again, free 99 on this one, so absolutely free. We're putting the work in, guys. No rest for the wicked on this one. What's up, B?
We get paid by likes, Sean. All we ask is that you hit the like. If Sean's got trigger happy.
Guys,
on the,
when
on the
I put it
button.
on, I take it off, right? So let's take it off. Now go to Brendan, I guess.
All right, we're fine. DMYD, just wanted to mention one more here before we go. DMY Technologies, DMYD, which is a SPAC. They did a deal with the NFL for some data. They're going to provide data for the NFL. So this is a SPAC, but heads up, DMY Technologies just popping up on that. 37% for DMYD, guys.
SPAC. There's always, there's like a million of these SPACs. They're slowing down a little bit, guys. And the next thing I care about when it opens trading for the first time is very likely to be Coinbase. I don't think there's anything more interesting between now and the 14th. I could be wrong about that, but let's go with the 14th. We're waiting for that. It's going to be fantastic. I think opening first day, and I think we'll be all going long off that open. I am still long in AMAT. It is trying to, now it's continually trying to break out through VWAP here. Here's if there's a modicum of concern, there's my NASDAQ, right? Testing towards the high again. So, I mean, decent probability that this time of session, if you can't push through the top, you get a bit of a retracement in. And that's the reason why I'm going to adjust. I was only willing to take some shares out on the north side. I'll take the next leg out on the south side of VWAP. This actually gives me a chance that if we do bounce down off that high, gives me a shot to reload in AMAT, still give it off that low of the day, and then still have a target. I'll get rid of the 143.50 target, take some out in like the 30s, so give up that 30 pennies, and then hold the rest for that like 144 to 145 area. So that's a bit of a game change plan here in AMAT, just noticing the NASDAQ off that high a day. If it breaks the high, fantastic. I'm holding out for better prices anyways in the last third of this, but want to let you guys know that change. Been in this one a while. Might be an AMAT for the duration as long as it holds the bottom. And I teased it, and my mouth is still watering as we speak about it. We've already talked about a few things that are coming up. The other one that is coming up is what National Day it is, and I would kill to have some of this with lunch, but I don't think it's going to be true, Ms. V.
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, thank you for starting this trading week with us. I hope you're all doing well. Wish you a great rest of the day. And dear members, please join us right after the show for the Q&A. You can find the link on the live chat and on our Twitter page also. And happy National Caramel Day, everyone. It's the best day ever.
That's a great day. Just put on everything, man. I don't care. I really don't care. Caramel is absolutely fantastic. It is the good stuff. The show is the good stuff. For those of you that are watching this particular name here, I haven't ignored it. I've decided not to really trade too much of that ACY here. It is finally showing some cracks. Talk about taking profit on these all the time. It hasn't halted to the downside, but it's starting to come in. Watch out for these. Watch out for a couple of levels here. 1280. And then look out for this like 1385, a couple of these prices of consolidation points. If these get held, and I saw this sort of true on Thursday, if these get held, you watch for that run in the afternoon to the top, breaking the backs of the shorts that dig in off of the high of the day, thinking it's going to be an afternoon breakdown, and then it's the entire opposite. So I would be very, very careful trading it, but certainly if it holds those two, if it holds either one of those levels, it could be once again an afternoon runner, ACY. Just watch out when it starts going those parabolic halt after halt after halt style moves.
Check in here. Square right now, still paying you guys off, still paying for your lunch. And we're short right now, and it's right now down, back again to its lows of the day. So Square, we hammered that one. I didn't hammer it, but we made enough money here to pay you guys. So Square now going to the downside. 225, 226 is our short. We got the first out at 54 or 55 there. Now we'll wait to see if it can take that out. And it looks like it's trying. So we'll wait. I mean, you can get out at 226.50 for a flat trade if you're nervous about this, but I got bids on the low side right now. So here we go. So that's a 50-cent win for you guys for lunch money. I don't know if we have anything. Oh, we already did that. We'll just do chicken dinner winner for you. There it is. Did we just get filled again? Oh, here comes Square. This is a big win for us now. Not only are you having chicken dinners today, but you can have chicken dinners for a few days here. If it does print this bid, 225. We're waiting on this bid. Maybe we got to get out of this one. The market coming to the downside right now. So Square, a big time win for us. We'll take this dollar. We'll put that in our pocket. Man, it's been a good show. Now we got to relax and get ready for the Q&A. But bye-bye Square to the downside. Lunch money paid off by the Wiz.
And it is 11:30. You know we're coming right back to you guys with that Q&A, so stay tuned. But you know what we got to do at this time of day. There is one name, Paychecks, that look is on the earnings report, so we can talk about that. I think the only serious one is going to be Square. CCL on Wednesday for the entire team. She's not in green, but the market is. Miss V? For my man Sean Katina in the nice checkered shirt, I got mine too as well. For Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you in 5 for the Q&A. Bye, guys.